Chapter 217. The allied forces of the four sinners had arrived and sealed off all four corners of the Dayan dynasty. This battle would definitely be a battle of life and death. There would be no leeway. Royal lords of Dayan, I bet you didn't expect that as the suppressors, you would fall to such a state. A saint stepped out from the heavenly demon royal family and spoke with a cold tone. For those of you who have sinful blood flowing in your veins, even if you succeed today, you won't be able to withstand the wrath of the June family, the royal lords of Dayan said expressionlessly. When they heard the words, Master of the June family, the eyes of the cultivators from the four sinful clans were filled with hatred. However, other than hatred, there was even more fear and terror. That was right. They were actually afraid of the June family's revenge. Even if the 10 sinners joined forces, they wouldn't be able to shake the foundation of the June family, let alone the 4 sinners. Don't use the June family to scare us. They have many opponents, such as the Archean royalty, the Forbidden Zone, and so on. The June family can't do whatever they want, the saint of the Yiksha royal family said coldly. They had their reasons for being afraid. But they couldn't be willing to be suppressed because of fear, could they? Therefore, overthrowing the Dayan dynasty was inevitable. At this moment, the heavenly demon crown prince stepped out and said, Why waste your breath? Today, the Dayan dynasty will be destroyed. Those who have the blood of the June family in their veins will also die. The heavenly demon crown prince's eyes glowed red, and his demonic aura soared into the sky. Even the saint of the heavenly demon royal family agreed with his words. Now, the heavenly demon crown prince was almost the most respected person in the heavenly demon royal family. Not only because of the demon god bloodline in his body, but also because of the demon god palace of the immortal realm. It was because of the heavenly demon crown prince that the heavenly demon royal family could break the seal. Therefore, the heavenly demon crown prince's status in the heavenly demon royal family was as respected as a saint. Just then, a clear voice filled with anger sounded from the Dayan Empire's side. You're just a sinner. How dare you boast so shamelessly? Who gave you the right to oppose the June family? The person who spoke was June Inger. Her pretty face was filled with anger. When she heard the Sky Demon Crown Prince's words, her face turned red with anger. The June family's sense of honor was one of the best, regardless of whether it was the main branch or the collateral branch. Oh, you are! The Sky Demon Crown Prince glanced at June Inger. He couldn't help but be stunned. Although June Inger was still young, she was already as beautiful as a blooming lotus. This young girl was even more delicate and seductive than the Yiksha princess. Because of her age, she didn't have a perfect figure and flawless face like Yen Rumeng. However, she was already an extremely alluring beauty. Compared to the coquettish Yiksha princess, such a pure and beautiful young girl could arouse the desire in a man's heart more. June Inger of the June family. June Inger pulled out a purple longsword. Her crystal eyes were full of fighting spirit. The blood of the June family flowed in their veins, and none of them were afraid of death. Hee, so you're from the June family. Just nice. The heavenly demon crown prince licked his lips. He was very excited, seeing such an attractive girl, and she was even a member of the June family. When the time came to abuse her, it would be twice the pleasure. June Inger's identity as a member of the June family was just right for the heavenly demon crown prince to vent his anger. Seeing the heavenly demon crown prince's evil gaze, June Inger showed disdain and disgust. I can suppress you and vent my anger. The heavenly demon crown prince made his move. Not to be outdone, June Inger made her move as well. The two young geniuses made their moves. Neither side made a move. Although June Inger was a collateral member of the June family and was sent to the lower worlds when she was young. However, her talent and strength were definitely among the best in the lower world. The tip of the sword streaked across the void. Streaks of purple sword aura covered the sky and rushed toward the heavenly demon crown prince. She's so strong. Many of the princes and princesses of the Dayan dynasty, as well as the young geniuses, were surprised. June Inger rarely made a move before, so they didn't know that the fairy-like Princess Inger was so strong. June Inger's performance also surprised Fong Han. It's a good thing that I got an opportunity and my strength skyrocketed. Otherwise, I wouldn't be good enough for Inger, Fong Han thought to himself. If he had seen June Inger's strength before, he would have felt extremely inferior. But now, Fong Han was very calm. He even felt that June Inger was worthy of his devotion. Seeing June Inger's attack, the heavenly demon crown prince looked calm. Before he made his move, the Yiksha princess beside him made her move. So what if you're a member of the June family? What right do you have to challenge the crown prince? Let me take you on. The Yiksha princess's beautiful face was cold. She also noticed the way the heavenly demon crown prince looked at June Inger. For a moment, her heart was filled with jealousy and hatred. Her divine weapon was a black soft demonic whip. When she swung it, it tore through the air and made a sharp sound. The two women fought in a melee. The purple sword aura flashed and the black whip flashed. The sound of metal clashing against metal continued to resound in the void. In such a battle, the Yiksha princess was gradually at a disadvantage. Finally, June Inger saw an opportunity. Her sword flashed and stabbed at the Yiksha princess's face. The Yiksha princess was shocked. She wanted to dodge again, but there was no chance. Not far away, the heavenly demon crown prince saw this and frowned. What a useless woman! Although the heavenly demon crown prince cursed in his heart, he still made his move. The blood-red demonic chi swept across the sky and turned into a palm that slapped out. The heavenly demon crown prince's sudden move caught June Inger off guard. She turned around and hurriedly blocked with her sword. But she was still sent flying with a bang. The blood in her chest churned. As for the Yiksha princess, although she escaped the disaster, that wisp of sword chi still brushed past her cheek. A long, bloody gash appeared on her beautiful face. Fresh blood flowed down from the wound. Ah! You bitch! The Yiksha princess screamed. She rushed at June Inger with red eyes and swung the soft demonic whip. June Inger had not calmed down from the heavenly demon crown prince's attack. She could only block with her sword. The soft demonic whip wrapped around the longsword. Yiksha princess flashed and approached June Inger, giving her a hard slap. A bright red handprint appeared on June Inger's jade-like face. Inger. Seeing this, Fong Han took a step forward and made his move. At the same time, he was secretly delighted. Wasn't this a good chance to be a hero and save the beauty? As long as he showed his absolute strength and forcefully saved June Inger, then wouldn't he be June Inger's hero? Thinking of this, Fong Han was even more excited. His face was filled with righteous indignation. He shouted angrily, "The sinners are indeed the sinners. How could they use such a despicable sneak attack?" As Fong Han spoke, he made his move. He stretched out his hand, and as if the shadows of the sun and moon appeared, he sent the Yiksha princess flying. She spat out blood. The heavenly demon crown prince locked his eyes on Fong Han. Recommended reading. Load file 2013. Chapter 218. If the heavenly demon crown prince was the most outstanding prodigy on the side of the sinners, then the most outstanding prodigy on the side of the Dayan dynasty was the 16th prince, Fong Han, who had suddenly risen to prominence. The heavenly demon crown prince had also heard of Fong Han's deeds. He was originally a famous idiot prince of the Dayan dynasty, but in the recent war, he had completely risen to prominence and become one of the best of the younger generation on the side of the Dayan dynasty. At this moment, Fong Han's casual attack had sent the Yiksha princess flying, which attracted the heavenly demon crown prince's attention. "Inger, are you okay?" Fong Han asked with concern. "I'm fine. Thank you," June Inger said. Hearing June Inger's words, Fong Han's heart was as sweet as honey. He was very pleased with himself. But this was not enough. This performance was nothing. He had to defeat the heavenly demon crown prince to leave a deep impression on Juning. "You're that Fong Han who rose to prominence recently?" The heavenly demon crown prince's eyes had a hint of mockery. He was not even afraid of Jun Xiaoyao from the immortal region, let alone this native prodigy from the lower realm. "Heavenly demon crown prince, cut the crap. Today I will kill you." Fong Han was eager to show off, so he did not waste any time and directly attacked. He moved his palms, which seemed to transform into the shape of the sun and the moon, crushing everything. "You're something." The heavenly demon crown prince's expression turned slightly serious. One of them had the bloodline of an atavistic demon god, while the other was the protagonist of the hidden dragon continent. Neither could be considered weak. The heavenly demon crown prince's chi and blood surged. He reached out his hand, which transformed into a blood-red palm print, and pressed it down. The two immediately clashed. Rumble! The sound of magical power exploding could be heard incessantly. That kind of fluctuation not only shocked the young prodigies, but also some experts of the older generation. So powerful! The princes and princesses who had previously mocked Fong Han were all so shocked that they could not close their mouths. One could stuff an egg into their mouth. They did not expect Fong Han to be so powerful when he went all out. Even Jun Ing-er's watery eyes were filled with shock. Her strength was already considered one of the best in the lower realms. However, this Fong Han, who was previously called trash, was now even stronger than her. Jun Ing-er couldn't understand it. However, as she watched Fong Han fight the Sky Demon Crown Prince, Jun Ing-er's opinion of him changed slightly. Although there was still a huge gap between this figure and the peerless hero in white robes who suppressed the universe in her heart, there was still a huge gap between this figure and the one she imagined. But that didn't stop Jun Ing-er from having a better impression of him. Of course, this change still had nothing to do with the feelings between men and women. Jun Ing-er was not the kind of girl who would fall in love at first sight, unless he could really conquer her completely. However, there shouldn't be such a person in the lower realm, right? Fong Han, on the other hand, felt a sense of exhilaration as he fought. Those royal brothers and sisters who used to despise him were now shocked and had a whole new level of respect for him. The royal lords of Dayan, who used to treat him coldly, were also very satisfied with him at this moment. Of course, what made Fong Han happiest was Jun Ing-er. Jun Ing-er looked at him with a glimmer of brilliance in her eyes. Even if it was only a glimmer, it was enough to make Fong Han happy. Great, next, I'll take him by surprise and kill the Sky Demon Crown Prince to boost morale. Fong Han narrowed his eyes. He also had a plan in mind. Bang! After a collision, the Sky Demon Crown Prince seemed to have an opening. Good chance. Fong Han's eyes flashed sharply. Sun and moon shine together. As Fong Han moved his hands, the sun and moon seemed to have turned into a Tai Chi symbol, emerging from his hands, blooming with endless brilliance and powerful fluctuations of power. This was an ultimate technique he had obtained from the sacrificial god talisman, and it was very powerful. Sky Demon Crown Prince, die. Fong Han bombarded the Sky Demon Crown Prince with a carefree smile on his face. He seemed to have seen himself being called a hero after defeating the Sky Demon Crown Prince. Jun Ing-er would also be completely convinced by his heroism. However, Fong Han suddenly saw a hint of mockery in the Sky Demon Crown Prince's eyes. How stupid. Do you think you can kill me like this? The Sky Demon Crown Prince activated his demon god bloodline. With a loud bang, blood surged into the sky. A vague blood-colored demon god shadow appeared behind the Sky Demon Crown Prince. Sky Demon Void Shattering Claw. The Sky Demon Crown Prince grabbed out with one hand, and the demon god shadow behind him seemed to reach out with a giant blood-red claw. The giant claw directly tore through space, bringing out a series of pitch-black spatial cracks. Under the Sky Demon Crown Prince's powerful attack, Fong Han's sun and moon shine together was directly torn apart. Fang Han's clothes were also torn in half, and a huge blood-red claw mark appeared on his chest. He spat out a mouthful of blood, flew backward, and finally smashed into the ground. Dead silence. This turn of events was beyond everyone's expectations. Just a moment ago, Fang Han was still in high spirits and used his ultimate move. Now, his whole body was naked and his clothes were torn. He was seriously injured and smashed to the ground like a dead dog. This contrast was so great that many people from the Dayan dynasty couldn't react. Jun Ying also hurriedly turned her gaze away, not looking at Fang Han. And Fang Han? He was completely stunned. Stunned. What happened to the plot armor? What happened to being able to kill and become the hero in Ying Er's heart? How did he become like this now? Fang Han himself couldn't react. It wasn't until the bloody claw mark on his chest brought intense pain that he came to his senses. Fang Han's eyes immediately turned red and bloodshot. Extreme humiliation filled his heart. It was one thing for him to be severely injured, but his clothes were torn apart. He was in such a sorry state that it was practically a public execution. His dream of being a hero was completely shattered. Fang Han hurriedly struggled to get up and changed into a set of clothes from his spatial artifact. Fang Han, are you okay? Don't try to be brave. Seeing Fang Han change his clothes, Jun Ying turned around and said. There was also an indescribable disappointment in her heart. The figure of Fang Han fighting the Sky Demon Crown Prince vaguely gave her a feeling that it overlapped with the figure of the hero in her heart. But now, seeing Fang Han's appearance, Jun Ying understood that she had thought too much. Fang Han saw the subtle change in Jun Ying's eyes, and his heart was filled with hatred. He stared at the Sky Demon Crown Prince with bloodshot eyes. You are the stupidest person I have ever met. Do you really think that you can compete with me just because you have a little opportunity? The Sky Demon Crown Prince's tone was playful. In fact, Fang Han was not weak. With the God's Sacrifice Talisman, if he was given time to develop, he would definitely be able to compete with the Sky Demon Crown Prince in the future. But Fang Han had only discovered the God's Sacrifice Talisman for a short time. He had not fully developed yet, so he could not beat the Sky Demon Crown Prince. Your strength is trash, and you still want to be a hero saving a beauty. What an idiot. Jun Ying, is this trash you're backing? The Sky Demon Crown Prince said. No, I won't rely on anyone. Jun Ying's face turned green. When Fang Han heard this, he was even more embarrassed and angry. He was furious. For a man, it was an absolute disgrace to not be able to let the woman he liked rely on him. Haha, you have a temper. I like it. If this trash can't protect you, then don't blame me for being ruthless. The Sky Demon Crown Prince directly attacked Jun Ying. Recommended reading. Load file 2013. Chapter 219. Stop! Fang Han roared when he saw the Sky Demon Crown Prince attack Jun Ying. However, he was in severe pain in his chest and was bleeding profusely. He was severely injured and couldn't help her. How dare you! The royal lords of Dayan and the others couldn't sit still. Jun Ying was a member of the Jun family. They couldn't just watch the Jun family being suppressed by the sinners. Therefore, the Dayan dynasty took action. At the same time, the allied forces of the four sinners also launched an attack. The Sky Demon Crown Prince's action of suppressing Jun Ying was like a fuse that completely ignited the flames of war. At the same time, several figures with monstrous demonic auras appeared in the void not far away. Two of them were black-robed figures with surging demonic auras. They exuded the aura of demon saints. They were the demon saints of the Demon God Palace, who had concealed their identities. They couldn't hide their identities openly, so they could only use this method to help the Sky Demon royal family. Of course, in terms of strength and lineup, the sinners had a complete victory. It's useless, Jun Ying. No one can save you. The Sky Demon Crown Prince stretched out his palm. A blood-red palm print appeared, filled with blood-red demonic aura, and exploded in all directions. June Inger was forced to retreat, and she coughed up blood from her cherry lips. She looked at the blood-red palm print that was suppressing her like a cage. Even though June Inger was determined, she couldn't help but show a hint of despair in her bright eyes. After all, she was only a 14-year-old girl. Fang Han, who was watching this scene, struggled but couldn't do anything. He was not the hero in June Inger's heart. It's over. Next, I will torture you. The Sky Demon Crown Prince revealed a perverted smile. June Inger's eyes showed a hint of death. She would rather die than fall into the hands of the Sky Demon Crown Prince and be humiliated. It's a pity that Inger's wish couldn't be realized. Brother, Inger won't have the chance to return to the mystic region to see you in this life. June Inger closed her eyes. A drop of crystal-clear tear quietly fell from the corner of her eye. At this moment, the clamor of war in the surrounding world seemed to be pulled away. Amidst this absolute silence, Yi Zichen stood up. June Inger suddenly heard a gentle and indifferent voice. "How dare you attack a member of the June family?" Hearing this voice, June Inger suddenly opened her eyes. Then, she saw the most unforgettable scene in her life. A magnificent golden palm print as big as a golden mountain came crashing down from the sky, shattering the clouds in the sky and sweeping through the 10 realms and 8 desolations. As the golden palm fell, it was as if a corner of the sky had collapsed. "Who is it?" The Sky Demon Crown Prince's hair stood on end as he screamed in horror. He didn't even have time to react. Accompanied by a loud bang, the golden palm that descended from the sky smashed the Sky Demon Crown Prince into the ground. Rumble! It was as if a magnitude 10 earthquake had erupted, causing the surrounding mountains to shake. A palm-shaped crater appeared on the ground. Thick cracks spread out in all directions like a spider web. Silence. A deathly silence. This sudden palm strike that came from the heavens directly slammed the Sky Demon Crown Prince into the ground. It was unknown whether he was dead or alive. The impact was too shocking. It was to the extent that the battlefield that had just begun froze momentarily. Some of the saints were stunned. In the sky, an otherworldly figure in a white robe stepped through the air. He was like the son of a god, the descendant of a banished immortal. It was Jun Xiaoyao. His white robe fluttered in the wind, his hair was black, and his skin looked like it was carved from immortal jade. He looked like an immortal and extraordinarily handsome. Is that an immortal? Some of the Dayan dynasty cultivators were stunned. As for June Inger, she was in an unprecedented state of shock. At this moment, the immortal-like figure in the white robe arrived on the auspicious clouds. In her mind, he was so similar to the peerless hero in white robes who descended from the sky on 7-colored clouds. No. It should be said that the current Jun Xiaoyao was even more otherworldly than the peerless hero in June Inger's mind. Jun Xiaoyao's handsomeness and his powerful means of slapping the Sky Demon Crown Prince away as soon as he appeared made him even more outstanding than the peerless hero in her mind. June Inger's heart was instantly hit by Cupid's arrow. She was not a person who would fall in love with anyone at first sight. But now Jun Xiaoyao was a perfect match for all her teenage fantasies. In fact, he was much, much more outstanding. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao's appearance made the entire battlefield fall into silence. Am I seeing things? The Sky Demon Crown Prince was slapped into the ground by that white-robed man? That's right. That palm print is too terrifying. What is the cultivation level of that white-robed man? After a brief silence, there was an uproar that broke the sky. The entire battle was completely disrupted by Jun Xiaoyao, and it was temporarily suspended. Who is he? On the ground, Fang Han, who was in an extremely sorry state and covered in blood, was also stunned. Then, he saw June Inger's expression. She seemed to be in a daze, and her whole body was numb. Jun Xiaoyao turned a blind eye to the surprised, and shocked expressions of the people around him. His eyes first looked at Jun Ing. Yes, it's her, Jun Xiaoyao murmured in his heart. Because Jun Wanjie had been by his side before, Jun Xiaoyao was quite familiar with Jun Wanjie's bloodline aura. And the girl in a lavender gauze dress in front of him had the same bloodline aura as Jun Wanjie's. Her age also matched. There was no doubt that this girl was Jun Wanjie's sister in the lower realm. However, Jun Xiaoyao saw Jun Ing-er's swollen cheek with a palm print on it. His figure was slightly blurred, and the next moment, he appeared in front of Jun Ing-er. Jun Ing-er's pretty face was slightly red, and she was somewhat at a loss. She was very calm when facing Fong Han and the others. But facing the handsome white-robed man in front of her, she was a little flustered. Her heart was pounding like a deer's. Jun Xiaoyao raised his hand and stroked Jun Ing-er's swollen cheek. Jun Ing-er's heart beat even faster. Logically speaking, if a stranger did this to her, it would be considered flirting, and Jun Ing-er would definitely be angry. But now, Jun Ing-er was as obedient as a porcelain doll. Jun Ing-er actually wanted to refuse, but Jun Xiaoyao was too handsome. And most importantly, Jun Ing-er could feel that Jun Xiaoyao's attitude was not flirting at all. Who did it? Jun Xiaoyao asked. Yaksha princess. Jun Ing-er pursed her lips and said with some grievance. Jun Xiaoyao gently stroked her cheek, and divine light spread out. In an instant, Jun Ing-er's cheek returned to normal, as tender and white as jade. Seeing this scene, Fong Han was so depressed that he wanted to vomit blood. Although he and Jun Ing-er did not have any physical relationship, at this moment, he felt that there was a green grassland above his head. After Jun Ing-er's face was restored, Jun Xiaoyao withdrew his hand and turned to look at Yaksha princess. He did not say a word. His eyes were as cold as ice, and he pressed down with one hand. The golden palm print swept across the void, producing a thunderous roar. Yaksha princess did not even have the chance to react before she was directly slapped. She was crushed into meat paste by the golden palm print. The palm print blasted the sky demon prince deep into the ground, and it was unknown whether he was alive or dead. Pinching Yaksha princess to death with one hand was like crushing an ant. Jun Xiaoyao was like a god descending in person, shocking everyone. Chapter 220. No one in this world was able to react in time. Jun Xiaoyao's performance had completely shaken them to the core. Jun Ing-er's red lips were wide open, and her eyes were filled with disbelief. Even she had a hard time dealing with the Yaksha princess. However, the handsome young man in white in front of him had killed him effortlessly with a single hand. Sir, you are? Jun Ing-er asked nervously. Train of thoughts, someone asked me to bring you back to the deity region, Jun Xiaoyao said lightly. Jun Ing-er's mind shook when she heard this, as if thunder was rumbling. She was a little absent-minded, and tears appeared in her eyes. Had her brother finally fulfilled his promise and walked towards the peak? He could even send people to the lower worlds to look for her. Did my brother send you to find me? Jun Ing-er asked excitedly. Well. Jun Xiaoyao was speechless for a moment and then nodded slightly. That's great. Jun Ing-er smiled, and her smile was as beautiful as a lily. She then looked at Jun Xiaoyao's handsome face, which was shrouded in divine radiance, and felt confused for a moment. Although she believed that her brother had become very strong. However, even his followers were this strong? At this moment there was a loud bang. Blood-red demonic chi spewed out like a volcano from the deep pit in the palm print. Then, a figure came out. It was the Sky Demon Crown Prince. However, at this moment, the Sky Demon Crown Prince looked extremely miserable. His hair was disheveled, and his body was covered in blood. His body was cracked, and there were bloody wounds on his skin. With such an appearance, it was hard to associate him with the lofty Sky Fey Crown Prince from before. At this moment, the Sky Demon Crown Prince had become Fong Han No. 2. He was also extremely miserable. Who are you? How dare you sneak attack me? The Sky Demon Crown Prince's eyes were burning with blood-red flames. If he didn't have the demonic god bloodline to protect him, that blow would have completely crushed his body. You're not dead. You're lucky. Jun Xiaoyao was a little surprised. 80% of the elites couldn't withstand his slap. For the heavenly Fey Crown Prince to be able to withstand his palm strike, he did have some skills. Jun Xiaoyao did not know that the Sky Fey Crown Prince possessed the Fey God bloodline. However, even if he knew, there shouldn't be any waves. All of the prodigies he had dealt with had all sorts of trump cards. A mere demon god's bloodline was not enough to cause Jun Xiaoyao to react. You haven't answered my question. The Sky Demon Crown Prince glared at Jun Xiaoyao. I, the son of God, do not need to waste my breath on ants. Jun Xiaoyao attacked again. Golden light bloomed as his blood chi surged towards the heavenly demon crown prince. Son of God! The heavenly demon crown prince murmured. Then, he suddenly came back to his senses. Unable to hide his shock, he exclaimed, "You are the son of God of the Jun family." The immortal-like white-clothed man in front of her was none other than the son of God of the Jun family that Yen Ruming had mentioned. The sound shocked everyone, and then there was an uproar. The son of God of the Jun family. The Jun family is here to help. The royal lords of Dayan and the others were stunned at first, and then their faces showed extreme joy. The Jun family was finally here. Moreover, he knew that the Jun family would not only send the Son of God to the lower world. He must have a protector following him. In this way, the Dayan dynasty could be saved. What, the Son of God? Jun Inger exclaimed. She could not help but cover her mouth with her jade-like hand as her eyes widened. Although she was a collateral member of the Jun family, she was sent to the lower worlds when she was young. However, she also understood what the words, Son of God, meant. That was an existence that her brother could only look up to. Now Jun Inger came back to her senses and realized that she had misunderstood. The white-clothed man in front of her was not her brother's follower at all. It was even very likely that her brother was his follower. Jun Xiaoyao pushed his palm across the void without using any moves at all. The divine elephant overpowering strength of the hell-crushing divine elephant, coupled with the power of 70 immortal bones of the great all-embracing heaven, was enough to sweep across the lower worlds. Rumble! The void shattered, and heaven and earth shook. Jun Xiaoyao's every move was like an ancient god descending to the world, destroying heaven and earth. The heavenly demon crown prince's expression suddenly changed, and his eyes were filled with extreme shock. Now, he finally understood what Yen Rumeng's warning meant. Heavenly demon void shattering claw. The heavenly demon crown prince also unleashed all of his strength, squeezing the power of his bloodline. The demon god's bloodline surged, and the shadow of the demon god formed behind him. The blood-red giant claw, tearing the sky and splitting the earth, collided with Jun Xiaoyao's palm. However, bang! There was no suspense at all. The heavenly demon void shattering claw, which had beaten Fong Han so badly, could not stop Jun Xiaoyao at all. His train of thought was the fastest. /L/Z/without/M Jun Xiaoyao formed the Man-Monarch seal, and the shadow of an indomitable sovereign appeared behind him. The Man-Monarch seal subdued heaven and earth. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao seemed to be the center of all things in the world, his graceful bearing unmatched as he suppressed the heavenly demon crown prince with a single hand. The heavenly demon crown prince's eyes were bloodshot as he roared, "No! How could you be this strong?" Previously, in the face of Yen Rumeng's warning, he turned a blind eye and even ridiculed her. But now, the heavenly demon crown prince finally tasted the bitter fruit of his arrogance. It was fine to be arrogant, but it also depended on who the other party was. Jun Xiaoyao could be arrogant, but that didn't matter. He had the qualifications to be arrogant. He could look down on anyone of his generation. But what about the heavenly demon crown prince? Did he have the qualifications? Demonic blood divine seal. The heavenly demon crown prince formed a hand seal, and his demonic energy surged. A blood-red seal appeared and clashed with Jun Xiaoyao's man-monarch seal. Boom! The heavens and earth shook and the stars fell. Ferocious ripples of dermic powers swept out in all directions. Pucci, the heavenly demon crown prince, was blasted back once again. His ribs constantly emitted cracking sounds, and it was unknown how many of them were shattered. Blood spewed out of his mouth as though it was free. He slammed heavily to the ground, looking as miserable as a dog. 2 moves. Just 2 moves. The heavenly demon crown prince, who was incomparably arrogant just a moment ago, was now beaten into a dead dog. The 4 sinners' allied forces widened their eyes and fell silent. On the Dayan dynasty's side, many princes and princesses swallowed a mouthful of saliva. How could this be? On the other hand, Fang Han was in a daze and was in a daze. He had been ruthlessly crushed by the heavenly demon crown prince. But now, the heavenly demon crown prince was suppressed by Jun Xiaoyao in 2 moves. What did this mean? It meant that the gap between him and Jun Xiaoyao was like heaven and earth, like clouds and mud. How could this be? I got the god's sacrificial talisman. I'm the main character. Fang Han was in a daze. Shouldn't he be in the limelight in this battle? Shouldn't the unparalleled hero in Jun Ing-er's heart be him? But now? Fang Han looked at Jun Ing-er. At this moment, Jun Ing-er had completely become Jun Xiaoyao's little fangirl. The extraordinary splendor in her pair of lustrous eyes was so rich that it could not be concealed. The longing, yearning, adoration, and admiration were so thick that it could not be dispersed. Seeing Jun Ing-er's expression, Fang Han grunted and could not help but spit out another mouthful of blood. The unparalleled hero had appeared, but it was not him at all. Chapter 221. Jun Xiaoyao's performance left everyone dumbfounded, unable to recover for a long time. The heavenly demon crown prince was one of the strongest young geniuses of the sinners. Yet, he had been defeated by Jun Xiaoyao in 2 moves. Just how strong was this white-robed son of God of the Jun family? Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were indifferent. He attacked again, aiming for the heavenly demon crown prince. This time, he was going to kill the heavenly demon crown prince. How dare you! The heavenly demon royal saint roared. Although Jun Xiaoyao's identity was extraordinary, as he was the son of God of the Jun family. However, they couldn't just watch the heavenly demon crown prince be killed. Therefore, even if they were bullying the weak, the heavenly demon royal saint had to take action. At this moment, the aura of a saint erupted in the void again, followed by a cold shout. You are the ones who are being impudent. Patriarch Dongxian and his followers appeared, blocking the heavenly demon royal saint with one hand. Die! Jun Xiaoyao's expression was indifferent as he slammed his palm down. As far as he was concerned, killing a sky demon crown prince was a simple matter. No! The heavenly demon crown prince was truly terrified this time, his eyes filled with fear. Swoosh! A demonic palm print appeared in the void, blocking Jun Xiaoyao's palm print. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flashed slightly. A deep sigh was heard. Jun family's son of God, how about sparing his life? Rumeng can return to report. Following this sigh, a woman with a flawless face appeared. Her pink dress fluttered, her hair was like a waterfall, her skin was smooth, and her legs were long and slender. It was Yen Rumeng. She had been hiding in the void all this time, but when she saw Jun Xiaoyao arrive, she knew that today's matter would be difficult to resolve. However, she also had a mission from the little demon empress, so she couldn't just watch the heavenly demon crown prince be killed by Jun Xiaoyao. Therefore, she could only brace herself and appear. When Yen Rumeng appeared, many male cultivators from the Dayan dynasty held their breath. It was not because of anything else. It was because Yen Rumeng was too beautiful. Just like her name, Rong Yen Rumeng was as beautiful and flawless as an illusion. It was hard to imagine that she was a demon. She had the perfect and otherworldly temperament of a fairy from the Moon Palace. You are the goddess of the demon god palace. Jun Xiaoyao's face was as calm as an ancient well. Even though Yan Ruming's appearance was breathtakingly perfect, Jun Xiaoyao's eyes did not waver in the slightest. He had seen too many beauties. Which one of them wasn't a peerless talent? Therefore, he had long been immune to beautiful women. Not to mention, with his personality, he would not care about any woman at all, even if she was very beautiful. Jun Xiaoyao was able to recognize Yan Ruming because Yan Ruming was also very famous in the Huangtian mystic realm. Her appearance was perfect and flawless, and she was the dream lover of countless male cultivators. However, it would be a big mistake to look down on her because of her appearance and think that she was just a vase. Yan Ruming had the demon emperor's body and was the most talented genius of the demon god palace. She was considered a top existence among the younger generation of the mystic realm. Haha, it is my honor to be recognized by the son of God of the Jun family. Yan Ruming chuckled, as gorgeous as 100 flowers blooming. She was usually very cold and otherworldly. But at this moment, facing Jun Xiaoyao, she was not otherworldly. Because Jun Xiaoyao was even more otherworldly than her. Seeing Yan Ruming's attitude, the heavenly demon prince felt a little uncomfortable. When Yan Ruming faced him, although there wasn't any obvious disdain, there was a cold and aloof feeling that came from her bones. But now, facing Jun Xiaoyao, Yan Ruming was not stingy with her smile. She was like a prostitute who sold her smile. But when he thought that he was still alive, the heavenly demon prince breathed a sigh of relief. He believed that with Yan Ruming and the demon god palace, Jun Xiaoyao would not dare to touch him. Humph, when I return to the mystic realm and receive the training of the demon god palace, I will completely activate the bloodline of the demon god. Jun Xiaoyao, then it will be the time of your death. The heavenly demon prince was not stupid enough to directly provoke Jun Xiaoyao. Instead, he said coldly in his heart. When Jun Xiaoyao saw the expression in the heavenly demon prince's eyes, he knew what he was thinking. So, you want to stop this son of God from killing the heavenly demon prince? Jun Xiaoyao looked at Yan Ruming. I have no choice. I have a mission. Can't the son of God be more understanding? Just take it that I owe the son of God a favor. Yan Ruming lowered her eyes and said with a hint of coquettishness. A favor? How are you going to repay it? Jun Xiaoyao looked Yan Ruming up and down. Faced with Jun Xiaoyao's scrutiny, Yan Ruming felt a faint numbness all over her body. I'll repay it however the Son of God wants. I just hope the Son of God won't go too far. Yan Ruming bit her lip and said softly with watery eyes. These words caused people to be lost in fanciful thoughts. That's too shameless. Jun Ing said angrily. She was worried that Jun Xiaoyao wouldn't really listen to Yan Ruming and let the heavenly demon prince go, right? Ha! Jun Xiaoyao smiled. Yan Ruming saw Jun Xiaoyao smile and felt relieved. However, in the next moment, Jun Xiaoyao's words completely stunned Yan Ruming, the goddess. Do you have the right to negotiate with this son of God? Jun Xiaoyao directly attacked. Since Yan Ruming wanted to save the heavenly demon prince, Jun Xiaoyao might as well suppress Yan Ruming first. Jun Xiaoyao, you. Yan Ruming's expression changed. It was the first time she had seen such an iron-willed straight man who was unmoved by beauty. In a flash, Jun Xiaoyao landed in front of Yan Ruming and threw a punch at Yan Ruming's chest. Yan Ruming gritted her teeth and fought back. Her slender body emitted monstrous demon qi. She had the Demon King body and her body was very strong. Boom, boom, boom. After a series of collisions, Yan Ruming was knocked back. Seeing that Jun Xiaoyao wasn't seduced by her beauty, Jun Ing's eyes sparkled. For a girl of her age, Jun Xiaoyao was more of a Prince Charming than a Prince Charming. Seeing that Yan Ruming had activated the Demon King body, Jun Xiaoyao was also surprised. Although Yan Ruming had a slender figure and slender joints, her physical strength were far stronger than some king bodies. At least, Yi Xingyun's kingly body of stars was no match for the Demon King body. However, no matter what kind of body it was nothing in front of the sacred body of the ancient. Jun Xiaoyao's fist surged and directly hit Yan Ruming's chest. Jun Xiaoyao, you. Yan Ruming couldn't keep calm. His angle of attack was very tricky. Of course, Jun Xiaoyao didn't do it on purpose. In his eyes, there was only the enemy. There was no difference between men and women. Do you have to worry about the opponent being a woman when you attack? Yan Ruming was knocked back again. Her arm was numb. It was hard to imagine that this was just a casual attack from Jun Xiaoyao. Yan Ruming swept her leg, which was covered with runes. With a force that could crush mountains, she kicked back at Jun Xiaoyao. Even the former heavenly demon crown prince would probably be smashed to pieces by this kick. Jun Xiaoyao's palm shone with a golden light. With a boom, he directly grabbed Yan Ruming's calf. Her legs were slender. They felt like they were made of jade. However, Jun Xiaoyao said something at the wrong time. You're slim, slender, and lean. What's your true form? Yan Ruming was about to struggle when she heard Jun Xiaoyao's words. Her whole face was stunned. Slender and slender was understandable. After all, it was an idiom of praise. But what the hell did he mean by fat and thin? Moreover, Jun Xiaoyao asked her what her true form was. What did this mean? It meant that Jun Xiaoyao was coveting her true form. Leisurely literature, let the soul travel. Chapter 222. As a member of the demon race, Yan Ruming's true form was naturally not human. To the demon race, the true form was a secret, just like asking a girl's age. Not to mention the outside world, even in the demon god palace, only the little demon empress and a few others knew what Yan Ruming's true form was. And now, didn't Jun Xiaoyao's attitude show that he had his eyes on Yan Ryu's true form? It wasn't like Jun Xiaoyao hadn't tasted it before. For example, the supreme dark dragon of Zulong and the sky-devouring sparrow. However, the problem was that the current Yan Ruming was a great beauty. Jun Xiaoyao pinched her leg and asked her what her true form was. It was clear what he was thinking. He was simply a demon. Even with Yan Ruming's cold personality, she couldn't help but lose her composure and wanted to scream. Jun Xiaoyao, are you a demon? Jun Xiaoyao, you've gone too far. Yan Ruming lost her composure and said angrily. She completely activated the power of the demon emperor body, and at the same time, her other leg was aimed at Jun Xiaoyao's head. This was completely an instinctive action under anger, and one could imagine how ashamed and angry she was. Yan Ruming's leg struck the void and her pink dress fluttered. Jun Xiaoyao reacted quickly and blocked with his other hand. At the same time, a golden divine chain of order rushed out from between his eyebrows and turned into a golden dagger. It was the primitive Emperor Dao sword. When the primitive Emperor Dao sword appeared, Yan Ruming's expression changed. She also took out a mirror-like weapon and blocked the primitive Emperor Dao sword's attack. However, the powerful rebounding force once again sent Yan Ruming flying, leaving behind a trace of blood at the corner of her red lips. Miss! The two black-robed demon saints' expressions changed, and they directly attacked. Although they did not dare to kill Jun Xiaoyao, they had to at least protect Yan Ruming. Upon seeing the two black-robed demon saints suppress Jun Xiaoyao, Patriarch Dongxian, Gu Yuan, and company wanted to help, but they were stopped by the saint of the Heaven Demon royal family. Nine-headed lion, Yu, Yan Qingying, Su Ziqiong, and the others were also present. However, it was impossible for them to block the attack of a saint. Haha, Jun Xiaoyao, I admit that you are very strong, but in this lower realm, there are still quasi-sages and saints. You can't overturn the heavens. The Sky Demon Crown Prince laughed. Currently, the allied forces of the four sinners, including the two demon saints from the Demon God Palace, numbered more than 20. As for Jun Xiaoyao's side, even if old ancestor Dongxian and Gu Yuan were included, there were only 4 or 5 of them. How could Jun Xiaoyao make up for the difference in combat strength? When the royal lords of Dayan and the others thought of this, their hearts sank. Could it be that even if the Son of God of the Jun family came, there was nothing he could do? Lord Son of God. Jun Ing-er's beautiful eyes were firm as she prayed in her heart. For some reason, she had an inexplicable confidence in Jun Xiaoyao. Perhaps Jun Xiaoyao's appearance had shaken her to her core. Therefore, she believed that Jun Xiaoyao had the ability to solve all problems. Ha, what a joke! Jun Xiaoyao's lips curled into a cold smile. The next moment, the void was torn apart as 6 star-shattering godly puppets attacked the 2 demon saints. These are saint puppets. The 2 demon saints were caught off guard and were injured. Of course, they were saints of the demon god palace after all. In terms of strength, they were much stronger than Patriarch Golden Spider, so they were not instantly killed by the star-shattering godly puppets. When she saw the 6 saint puppets, Yen Ruming's expression turned serious. The Sky Demon Crown Prince was so scared that his face turned pale. If Jun Xiaoyao had used the star-shattering godly puppets from the beginning, he would have been killed instantly. Of course, Jun Xiaoyao would not use the star-shattering godly puppets just for the Sky Demon Crown Prince. There was no need to use a sledgehammer to kill a chicken. On the other hand, cheers rang out from the Dayan dynasty. These 6 star-shattering godly puppets had undoubtedly given the Dayan dynasty a hope that they might survive. However, even if there were 6 star-shattering godly puppets, there was still Patriarch Dongxian, Gu Yuan, and the saints of the Dayan dynasty. Their numbers were still not as good as the coalition of sinners. I don't care if you are the son of God of the Jun family. You have to pay with your life for killing someone. A saint from the Yaksha royal tribe said coldly. Jun Xiaoyao had casually killed the Yaksha princess, which had completely enraged the Yaksha clan. The saints of the sinners had all attacked, fighting with the star-shattering godly puppets and the saints of the Dayan dynasty. The Yaksha royal tribe's saint had just freed himself and locked onto Jun Xiaoyao, his eyes cold. Die! The Yaksha royal tribe's saint attacked, his power surging as he threw a punch at Jun Xiaoyao. The sky seemed to have collapsed. Lord Son of God! Jun Ing-er screamed. The expressions of Patriarch Dongxian, Gu Yuan, and the royal lords of Dayan changed drastically. They wanted to help, but they were entangled by the saints of the sinners. The Sky Demon Crown Prince was overjoyed when he saw this. The guy who had left a deep shadow on him was finally going to die. What was even more surprising was that Fang Han's eyes had a tinge of joy as well. Yes, Jun Xiaoyao had saved the Dayan dynasty. However, not only was he, the prince of the Dayan dynasty, not only was he not grateful, he even had a hint of joy when he saw Jun Xiaoyao in danger. As for the reason, it was very simple. Jealousy. Fang Han was deeply jealous of Jun Xiaoyao. That feeling was like a lowly earthworm that had obtained an opportunity and transformed into a python. Just when he thought he was going to become stronger, suddenly, a true dragon appeared in front of him. All his efforts and all his rise were so laughable and insignificant in front of Jun Xiaoyao. Some people were born to be superior. Not to mention that after Jun Xiaoyao appeared, Jun Ing-er's eyes had never left Jun Xiaoyao. How could Fang Han not be jealous? When jealousy reached a certain level, Fang Han naturally hoped that Jun Xiaoyao would die. Time seemed to have slowed down at this moment. The attack of the Yaksha royal tribe's saint was about to land on Jun Xiaoyao. Everyone thought that the result was inevitable. No matter how strong Jun Xiaoyao was, it was impossible for him to fight against a saint. It didn't make sense. Master! Yan Qingying tried her best to break through, but she was surrounded by layers of sinners. Jun Ing-er and the others also tried to attack, but they were all blocked. At this moment, it seemed that no one could save Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao could even see the ferocious and bloodthirsty expression on the Yaksha royal tribe's saint's face. Killing a monstrous prodigy with peerless aptitude was also a thrilling experience. Is the invincible legend of the Jun family's younger generation going to end here? Yen Ruming's eyes were also watching. However, what made her feel strange was Jun Xiaoyao's face was as calm as before. It seemed that he didn't know that he was only one step away from death. Die! The Yiksha royal tribe's saint slapped down. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao suddenly looked at the Yiksha royal tribe's saint and murmured a few words. The Yiksha royal tribe's saint read the meaning of these words. You are dead. The next moment, a terrifying aura suddenly surged out like an abyss. Leisurely literature, let the soul travel. Chapter 223. The dark red aura surged into the 9 levels of heaven like an ancient volcano erupting. Along with the eruption of the dark red aura was a terrifying wave of saint plane energy. What is that? The Yiksha royal saint exclaimed. No matter how talented Jun Xiaoyao was, it was impossible for him to become a saint right away. Under the horrified gazes of the crowd, a majestic demonic shadow appeared in front of Jun Xiaoyao. The demonic shadow was muscular and had long hair that reached its ankles. Its eyes, half covered by black hair, were as red as blood and exuded a sense of madness. It was the holy physique of the fallen that Jun Xiaoyao brought out from Pan Wuling. When Jun Xiaoyao brought out the holy physique of the fallen, he already had a plan in mind. The sacred body of the ancients had something in common. If part of his spiritual force were to enter the holy physique of the fallen's divine palace, he would be able to control it. Of course, there were limits to such control. If it was done too often, Jun Xiaoyao's sacred body of the ancients might be tainted by the holy physique of the fallen's demonic and ominous aura. Therefore, it could only be used as an emergency. Now was the right time to use it. What is that? A puppet? The other saints of the sinners were also shocked. No, this person's aura is monstrous and has the aura of a living person. It doesn't look like a puppet. What the hell is that? Everyone was puzzled. However, the wave of saint plane energy could not be concealed. Jun Xiaoyao looked at the Yiksha royal saint with a smile on his lips. He reached out and pointed between his eyebrows. A ball of light filled with dense soul power emerged and went directly into the holy physique of the fallen's divine palace. In an instant, the eyes of the holy physique of the fallen shot out 3 feet of bloody light as if they had been activated. It's over. Jun Xiaoyao and the holy physique of the fallen spoke at the same time. Jun Xiaoyao's cold and indifferent voice overlapped with the hoarse and heavy voice of the holy physique of the fallen, bringing an indescribable sense of oppression. It was as if the most powerful boss had come out of seclusion. Boom! The holy physique of the fallen roared to the sky. His black hair was 3,000 feet long, and dark red aura gushed out. He charged straight at the Yiksha royal saint. We're both saints. Do you think I'm afraid of you? The Yiksha royal saint also released his aura and attacked. But the result was bang. The attack of the Yiksha royal saint landed on the fallen saint being but did not cause any damage. There wasn't even a single wound. The Yiksha saint was stunned. He felt as if his soul had been sucked out. He was a saint. Even if it was only an early-stage saint, this attack was enough to shatter mountains, lakes, and seas. But now, it couldn't cause any harm to the person in front of him. He wasn't the only one. All of the sinners sucked in a mouthful of cold air. Old ancestor Dongxian, Gu Yuan, and the rest were shocked as well. Because this was the first time Jun Xiaoyao had used the holy body of the fallen, it was also the first time they had seen it. Everyone was shocked, and their scalps went numb. Little did they know that the sacred body of the ancients was invincible among those of the same level. Even if it was the holy body of the fallen, the strength of his physical body remained unchanged. Since it was invincible among those of the same level, the attack of the Yiksha royal saint naturally couldn't cause any harm to the holy body of the fallen. On the other hand, the holy body of the fallen grabbed the shoulders of the Yiksha royal saint with both hands. Then, he suddenly tore. Rip! It was like tearing a piece of paper. The famous Yiksha royal saint was torn in half by the holy body of the fallen. Blood rained down. Sacred blood spilled. Heaven and earth were dead silent at this moment. That was a saint, a high and mighty saint. But at this moment, he was torn in half like a chicken being torn apart with bare hands. This shocking scene caused everyone to be unable to breathe. It was as if their necks were being strangled by a pair of invisible hands. Roar! The holy body of the fallen was baptized by the sacred blood and became even more violent. His blood-red eyes shot out 3 feet of bloody light as he locked onto the other Yiksha royal saint. That Yiksha royal saint didn't even have the courage to fight. He turned around and tried to escape. But how could he escape the pursuit of the holy body of the fallen? Bang! 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 The holy body of the fallen took 3 steps forward and grabbed the Yiksha royal saint. Spare! Spare my life! The Yiksha royal saint begged for mercy in horror. But the holy body of the fallen was being controlled by Jun Xiaoyao at this moment. How could he spare these sinners? Rip! In the next second, the Yiksha royal saint was also torn in half. Then, the holy body of the fallen didn't stop. He directly attacked the heavenly monster royal saint. Ah! Monster, what kind of monster is this? It's definitely not a saint. Could it be a saint king or a supreme saint? Voices of horror and screams rose and fell one after another. All the sinners felt like their scalps were about to explode at this moment. Their hair stood on end, and they couldn't stop trembling as if they had gone mad. Not to mention the ordinary sinners. Even the sinners' saints were scared out of their wits at this moment. It was as if their bones were frozen. They had never seen such a terrifying existence. It tore apart a saint as if it was a joke. Terrifying. Too terrifying. The heavenly monster crown prince was stunned on the spot. It was as if his soul had been sucked out of his body. He never expected that there would be such a terrifying existence by Jun Xiaoyao's side. Killing a saint like slaughtering a dog. Despair. Endless despair drowned the heavenly monster crown prince's heart like a tide. You ant, it's time for you to die. Jun Xiaoyao casually struck out with his palm. A golden palm print swept across the void and crushed toward the heavenly monster crown prince. At this moment, the heavenly monster crown prince finally regretted it. He regretted not listening to Yen Ruming's warning and returning to the immortal region earlier. But there was no medicine for regret in this world. Boom! Unsurprisingly, the heavenly monster crown prince was killed by Jun Xiaoyao's palm in endless despair. Jun Xiaoyao reached out and grabbed the heavenly monster crown prince's body and threw it to Yan Qingying. Devour him. Don't waste the demon god bloodline, Jun Xiaoyao said. He couldn't use the demon god bloodline himself, but it was of great help to Yan Qingying. Yan Qingying revealed a grateful and excited expression. She first devoured the fallen son of God, and now she devoured the heavenly monster crown prince. If she continued to devour like this, only God knew how powerful she would be in the future. Seeing this scene, Yen Ruming sighed deeply. She originally thought that even if she couldn't save the heavenly monster crown prince, she would at least get the demon god bloodline. But now it was all in vain. Not only that, but Yen Ruming was also offended by Jun Xiaoyao. She was at a loss. Miss, let's go. The 2 monster saints of the Monster God Palace also called out. With the fallen saint body, no saint was a match for him at all. Even these 2 saints of the Monster God Palace couldn't deal with the fallen saint body. Yen Ruming was also very decisive. She took out a space escape talisman and left. I forgot about you guys. This time, the sinners broke the seal and you guys contributed. Jun Xiaoyao narrowed his eyes slightly and looked at the 2 saints of the Monster God Palace. He directly controlled the fallen saint body and attacked the 2 saints of the Monster God Palace. The result was also without any suspense. Accompanied by 2 screams, the 2 saints of the Monster God Palace died on the spot. Leisurely literature, let the soul travel. Chapter 224. Elder He. Yen Ruming, who was fleeing in the distance, turned around and saw Elder He and the others were smashed into pieces by the Saint of the Fallen's punch. Their bodies collapsed, and blood splattered everywhere. Her face was pale, and her heart was bleeding. The monster god palace had lost 2 saints at once. Saints were not cannon fodder or cats or dogs. Even in the mystic realm, they were top-notch fighters. The monster god palace had suffered a great loss this time. It was a double whammy. Elder He and the others are dead, and the mission was not completed. Yen Ruming was extremely depressed. Even with her cold personality, she couldn't keep calm. She was so irritated that she wanted to scream. Yen Ruming had only heard of Jun Xiaoyao's horror before, but now she experienced it firsthand. He touched her long legs, but his mind was thinking about what her true form was and how to eat her. Jun Xiaoyao was too demonic. Yen Ruming swore that she never wanted to meet Jun Xiaoyao again. In the future, stay far away from this person. Yen Rumeng's heart still had lingering fear as she fled. On the other side, watching Yen Rumeng's figure disappear into the distant sky, Jun Xiaoyao didn't bother to chase after her. Killing 2 saints of the Monster God Palace was enough to make the Monster God Palace feel the pain. If the goddess of the Monster God Palace was killed, the Monster God Palace would not let it go. Jun Xiaoyao wasn't afraid of the Monster God Palace, but there was no need to make another enemy for the Jun family. After all, there was already the Fallen God Palace before. And this time, the Monster God Palace was in the wrong for provoking the Jun family first. The death of 2 saints was a price to pay. Although the Monster God Palace felt the pain, they would silently swallow the bitter fruit. But if he killed Yen Rumeng, then the enmity would be great. Let's deal with these survivors first. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head slightly and glanced at the fleeing sinners. The best way to deal with these sinners was not to suppress them. Instead, it was to eliminate them completely. With the holy body of the fallen, the saints of the sinners were not even worth mentioning. The Dayan dynasty also launched an all-out counterattack to hunt down the sinners. After about half an hour, Jun Xiaoyao suddenly felt a slight pain in his head. There seemed to be a cold and gloomy aura pouring into his mind. Vaguely, there seemed to be demonic sounds ringing in his ears. Saintly body must die. This demonic voice was faint and indistinct. Only a few words could be heard intermittently. Jun Xiaoyao withdrew his true spirit and cut off the connection with the holy body of fallen. Is it a curse of the holy body of fallen? Or is it something ominous? It just so happened that the saints of the sinners were almost completely wiped out. The holy physique of the fallen was covered in blood, and his long black hair was dyed dark red. His blood-red eyes stared at Jun Xiaoyao, giving Jun Xiaoyao a vague feeling that he was still conscious. Is it an illusion? Jun Xiaoyao looked again, and saw that the holy body of the fallen had become chaotic again. Jun Xiaoyao withdrew the holy physique of the fallen. Saintly body must die. What kind of curse and ominous is it? Jun Xiaoyao frowned. However, he didn't think too much about it. He shouldn't encounter such a thing for the time being. Generally speaking, even if a saintly body encountered an ominous event, it would be at a very late stage. At this stage, Jun Xiaoyao didn't have to worry about this. As for what he would do if he encountered such a situation in the future, Jun Xiaoyao believed that by that time, his strength would be unimaginably strong. Whatever ominous event or curse, he would be able to suppress and obliterate them all. After those saints of the sinners were dealt with, the remaining sinners were quickly dealt with. The ground was dyed red with blood, and the soil was soaked in blood. Layers upon layers of sinners' corpses covered the ground. Looking at the mountain of corpses and the sea of blood, the cultivators of the Dayan dynasty were still in fear. If Jun Xiaoyao hadn't arrived in time, the ground would be covered with the corpses of the cultivators of the Dayan dynasty, not the sinners. Thank you, Son of God, for your help. The entire Dayan dynasty is grateful. The royal lords of Dayan bowed deeply to Jun Xiaoyao. Not only him, but the rest of the cultivators of the Dayan dynasty either bowed or knelt down. All of them were extremely grateful. They looked at Jun Xiaoyao with a hint of fanaticism in their eyes. Jun Xiaoyao was invincible among the younger generation. The mysterious demonic shadow beside him was extremely powerful. It could kill saints as if they were dogs. In the lower realm, saints were the top combat power and they were like gods. The holy body of the fallen could kill gods as if they were dogs. The impact on their minds was too great. Jun Xiaoyao waved his hand and said, "There's no need to be so polite. You've done so much for the Jun family. It's my duty to save you." Looking at Jun Xiaoyao, who was being worshipped by tens of thousands of people, Jun Ying-er's face flushed red. She was very excited, and her eyes were filled with little stars. Jun Xiaoyao showed up when the great Yin dynasty was in danger. He turned the tide and saved the dynasty from collapse. What was a hero? This was a hero. On the other hand, Fang Han was completely ignored. No one cared about him. Even if a few people did notice him, their eyes were filled with pity, sighs, and even a hint of contempt and disdain. After all, Fang Han's performance was too terrible. He had made a fool of himself. People were like that. No matter how many things you had done before, no matter how famous you were, as long as you failed once, the world would immediately forget about you. Fang Han was a clear example. His performance before was extremely outstanding, and he could even be considered the top fighter of the younger generation in the Dayan dynasty. Now everything was ruined. Taking a step back, even if Fang Han did not fail, compared to Jun Xiaoyao's brilliance, he was still as dim as the stars beside the sun. When he thought of this, the jealousy in Fang Han's heart grew stronger. Jun Xiaoyao also noticed Fang Han. His eyes were deep. Jun Xiaoyao could feel the unusual aura on Fang Han's body. Could it be the aura of the world's origin? Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself. He had already obtained the origin of the Tianxian continent, the Star continent, and the Sunluo continent. Therefore, he was quite familiar with the aura of the world's origin. However, Fang Han was the son of the royal lords of Dayan, and also the prince of the Dayan dynasty. It would be unreasonable to directly investigate or even deprive him of his opportunity. Jun Xiaoyao took this matter to heart. After that, the army of the Dayan dynasty began to completely eliminate the remnants of the 4 sinful clans. Jun Xiaoyao had nothing to do with it. The Dayan dynasty invited Jun Xiaoyao into the palace with the most solemn welcome. The royal lords of Dayan roughly told Jun Xiaoyao about the situation in the lower realm. The ancient demon clan and the ancient demon clan rebelled. They are really bold. However, I, the Son of God, will let them know the consequences of betraying the Jun family. Jun Xiaoyao sat high on the throne and narrowed his eyes slightly. The royal lords of Dayan and the others were below. Hearing Jun Xiaoyao's cold words, the royal lords of Dayan and the others felt a chill in their hearts. The forces that betrayed the Jun family were even more unforgivable than the sinful clans. Jun Xiaoyao was so decisive against the sinful clans. One could imagine how he treated the traitors. The royal lords of Dayan and the others began to pray for the 2 clans. Recommended reading. Load 2013. Chapter 225. Now that the war on the Hidden Dragon continent has been quelled, we will rest for 3 days. After reorganizing the army, we will go directly to the continent where the ancient God clan is located to provide support. This time, I, the Son of God, will not only destroy the 10 sinful clans, but also the ancient demon clan, and the mastermind behind them. I will eliminate them all in one fell swoop. Jun Xiaoyao's words were firm, and his murderous aura was as sharp as a sword. Yes, we will follow the orders of the Son of God. The royal lords of Dayan and the others cupped their hands. Well, go and quell the remaining evil, Jun Xiaoyao said casually. The royal lords of Dayan and the others cupped their hands and left. Fang Han glanced at Jun Xiaoyao, who was sitting on the throne. That was originally the throne of his father, the royal lords of Dayan. Now that Jun Xiaoyao was sitting on it, the royal lords of Dayan were not angry. Instead, they felt that it was natural. A strong sense of frustration filled Fang Han's heart. Even his father was respectful and courteous to Jun Xiaoyao. What was his son to him? Let's go, Fang Han said to Jun who was standing beside him. Jun shook her head. Her face was still a little red. She said, Fang Han, you go first. I still have something to discuss with the Son of God. Fang Han was stunned. He clenched his fists tightly. Then, with a gloomy look, he turned and left without saying a word. Jun did not care about Fang Han's expression. At this moment, all her attention was on Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao sat on the throne. His white robe was spotless, and he was shining with divine light. His handsome face was difficult to describe. Jun directly knelt down in front of Jun Xiaoyao. What are you doing? Jun Xiaoyao raised his eyebrows. Thank you, Son of God, for saving the Dayan dynasty, and Second, thank you, Son of God, for being willing to take back to the immortal realm. Jun beautiful eyes were full of tears. God knew how long she had waited for this day. Although she was a respected princess in the Dayan Empire, she was still a princess, but only Jun herself knew the loneliness of being separated from her family. Now that Jun Xiaoyao had appeared, he wanted to take her back to the celestial realm. For Jun Xiaoyao was of God's light. It's just a small matter. There's no need for all this. Besides, your brother and I are friends. Jun Xiaoyao lifted his hand slightly and channeled his powers. Jun whole body was lifted up. Jun Xiaoyao didn't say that Jun Wanjie had already submitted to him. Is that so? My brother is lucky to be able to meet the Son of God. Then my brother. Jun wiped the tears from the corner of her eyes with her jade-like hand. He is very good. He has become the fifth sequence of the Jun family, Jun Xiaoyao said. Really? That's great. Jun joy was overflowing. Jun knew very well what it meant to be the fifth sequence. When she was young, her brother said that he would work hard to become stronger, reach the peak, and then take her to live a good life. Now, he had really fulfilled his promise. I still have some things to take care of in the lower realm, so I may have to wait until the things are settled before I can take you back to the immortal realm, Jun Xiaoyao said. I am already very grateful that the Son of God can take me back to the immortal realm. It doesn't matter if I wait a little longer, Jun hurriedly replied. She had waited for so many years. Did she care about this little bit of time? By the way, I have something to ask you. Jun Xiaoyao seemed to have thought of something and said. Son of God, please go ahead, Jun said. What's the situation with that prince just now? Jun Xiaoyao asked. Son of God, are you talking about Fang Han? He is the 16th prince of the Dayan dynasty. He has been ridiculed before. Saw that he was pitiful, so I helped him. Jun told Jun Xiaoyao some things about Fang Han, including how he was a foolish prince at first, but later, he suddenly rose and became a genius. So that's how it is. After listening, Jun Xiaoyao was more or less certain. This Fang Han should be the heaven-defying son of the hidden dragon continent. Although Jun Xiaoyao didn't know what Fang Han's opportunity was, the aura of the origin of the world couldn't escape his detection. Although Fang Han didn't show it, he couldn't hide his dissatisfaction with me. Is this because I stole his limelight? Jun Xiaoyao said to himself. How could Jun Xiaoyao not know about Fang Han's little scheme? He could even play with the geniuses of the mystic realm, let alone a lowly heaven-defying son of the lower world. Jun Xiaoyao also saw that Fang Han was interested in Jun. Jun attitude towards him had undoubtedly made Fang Han even more jealous and resentful. Fang Han, you'd better have some self-awareness, Jun Xiaoyao said to himself. If Fang Han dared to do anything, even if he was a prince of the Dayan dynasty, Jun Xiaoyao wouldn't let him go. Jun Xiaoyao even hoped that Fang Han would do something. That way, he would be able to openly snatch Feng Han's opportunity. As for now, the Dayan dynasty had made great contributions in suppressing the sinful clans. If Jun Xiaoyao attacked Feng Han now, it wouldn't be justifiable. The chaos of the entire Hidden Dragon continent had also been settled. Next, Jun Xiaoyao only needed to go to the continent where the ancient god clan was to completely solve the problem of the 10 sinful clans. And just as the entire Hidden Dragon continent entered the final stage of cleaning up, the other continents weren't peaceful either. Since Jun Xiaoyao came to the lower world, he had gone to a total of 4 continents. They were the Tianxian continent, the Star continent, the Sunluo continent, and the Hidden Dragon continent. However, other than these 4 continents, there were 6 more that Jun Xiaoyao hadn't set foot in yet. These 6 continents were also in a turbulent situation. The Guiyuan continent was one of the 10 lands in the lower world. At this moment, in a hidden canyon on the Guiyuan continent, a battle between prodigies was breaking out. After a loud bang, a purple-robed youth was sent flying, spitting out blood. His eyes were filled with anger and fear as he looked at the figure opposite him. It was a young man in a black and gold robe. His hair was as black as ink, his skin was pale, and his face was handsome. He looked thin and tall, like a pale-faced scholar. He looked like he would be blown away by a gust of wind. However, after understanding the young man's strength, the purple-robed youth's eyes were filled with reluctance and despair. "I've risen all the way to this day, and I've been favored by the heavens and earth. How can I be defeated? There shouldn't be anyone in the younger generation on this continent who can defeat me." The purple-robed youth roared indignantly. He was originally an abandoned disciple of a small sect. After he accidentally obtained a ball of world origin, he rose all the way to power, and his opportunities were overwhelming. In the end, he destroyed the sect that chased him away. However, just as the purple-robed youth was feeling smug and even began to fantasize about dominating the entire continent in the future, this handsome young man with unbelievably pale skin suddenly appeared in front of him. Moreover, the young man's strength shocked the purple-robed youth. He had the world origin, but he still couldn't defeat this young man. This was simply illogical. "It seems that you are the Guiyuan continent's son of Providence. I must have your world origin." The young man stretched out his hand, and a dense reincarnation power spread out. Vaguely, there seemed to be a huge illusory roulette behind him. That wheel was engraved with the 6 realms of life, as if it could pull all living beings into the cycle of reincarnation. Recommended reading: Load File 2013. Chapter 226. What kind of power is this?" The purple-robed youth screamed in terror. The illusory wheel that appeared behind the black-clothed youth caused a great fear to rise in his heart. The mysterious power made the purple-robed youth lose all his will to fight. He only wanted to escape. "Nothing in this world can escape the pain of reincarnation. Become my resources." The black-robed youth's face was cold. The purple-robed youth suddenly came back to his senses and exclaimed, "I understand now. Are you someone with providence from another continent?" The purple-robed youth thought that only a son of Providence of the same level could suppress him like this. "Yes and no." The black-robed youth smiled. He seemed to admire the purple-robed youth's terrified and struggling appearance. "Hence," he explained patiently, "I'm not someone from the lower realm, but I've been hiding in the lower realm for countless eras. My goal is to steal the lower realm's providence and world origin when the 10 realms are in chaos. And you are my second prey." As the black-robed youth spoke, a world origin power also emanated from his body. That was the world origin he had snatched from the protagonist of another continent. Although these sons of Providence of the lower realm were strong, their foundations were still too weak compared to the ancient freaks who had been buried for countless eras. Ancient freaks could not even defeat the geniuses of the same generation in the immortal region, let alone these protagonists of Providence from the lower realm. Hearing the black-robed youth's words, The purple-robed youth's heart turned cold. The black-robed youth in front of him was simply a hunter of sons of providence. Die. This world's origin power and the world's providence will all belong to me. The black-robed youth activated the reincarnation and world origin power. The purple-robed youth could not withstand it at all. His physical body was crushed inch by the wheel phantom and shattered into a bloody pulp. At the last moment of his life, the purple-robed youth heard the black-robed youth's final words. Remember, the one who sent you into reincarnation is the river of forgetfulness. Poochie. With that, the purple-robed youth's physical body collapsed. A multicolored world origin appeared. The handsome black-robed youth called River of Forgetfulness reached out and the world origin power fell into his hand. The second one, River of Forgetfulness, murmured. Sensing the great changes in the lower realm's 10 lands, the River of Forgetfulness awakened from the sealed immortal origin. His first goal was to plunder the world's origin and providence. In this lower realm, there is a place called the crack between the 10 realms. There are many great opportunities there. Wang Chuan's eyes flashed. At this time, Wang Chuan seemed to have sensed something and said faintly, "Since you're here, why not show yourself?" The surroundings were still quiet. A moment later, a voice that sounded like a silver bell suddenly rang out. As expected of an ancient freak of the devil sect of Samsara. His senses are indeed sharp. Following this voice, a petite girl wearing a short black skirt, Ling Long, appeared. Her hair was tied up in 2 buns. Her thin eyebrows were clean, her big eyes were watery, her nose was high, and her lips were bright red. She was not tall, but she could compete with Jiang Luoli to see who was shorter. Her chest was even more ordinary, and her presence was extremely low. Only the pair of snow-white and slender legs under the short skirt were beautiful and eye-catching. On her fair ankles were a string of golden bells that were strung together with a red string. When she walked, it would make a crisp sound. The girl was like a jade porcelain doll, pure and cute. However, amidst this innocence and cuteness, there was also a faint charm to it. This strange combination of purity and charm made this girl's temperament quite special. "You are." Wang Chuan frowned slightly. He could feel that this girl in front of him seemed harmless to man and beast. But the energy contained in her petite body was absolutely terrifying. This girl was not from the lower realms. And most importantly, she recognized that River of Forgetfulness was an ancient freak that the devil sect of Samsara had buried in the lower realms. "I am the current saintess of the devil sect, Xiao Maxian," the young girl called Xiao Maxian proudly said as she stuck out her chest that didn't have any curve. Devil sect. Wang Chuan revealed a trace of surprise. He didn't know who Xiao Maxian was. Because he was an ancient freak that had been buried in the lower realms for countless years, it was impossible for him to know the current generation of Heaven's Prides. But River of Forgetfulness knew of the devil sect. This was an incomparably terrifying orthodoxy of the immortal realm that had been passed down for countless epochs. It was rumored that it was the orthodoxy of a demonic immortal. This was definitely an immortal sect with a formidable background. And most importantly, the devil sect and another immortal sect, the human sect, had always been in a state of opposition. "You are the current saintess of the devil sect. What business do you have with me? Could it be that you want to steal my world source?" River of Forgetfulness indifferently said. He was an ancient freak. Even in the younger generation of the immortal realm, he was an absolute peak existence. Facing the saintess of the devil sect, he was not afraid at all. Of course not. The human sect's big sister Qing wants to recruit partners. I, Xiao Maxian, naturally can't fight alone. Xiao Maxian giggled. River of Forgetfulness's eyes narrowed. He was naturally aware of the opposition between the human sect and the devil sect. The Qing that Xiao Maxian spoke of was likely the human sect's saintess. However, River of Forgetfulness had no intention of intervening in the battle between the two immortal sections. Just as he was about to refuse, Xiao Maxian's lips curved up in a charming smile. You probably don't know how long you have been sealed away. The devil sect of Samsara has long since disappeared into the dust of history. What? River of Forgetfulness was finally unable to remain calm. The devil sect of Samsara had long since disappeared into the long river of history? Are you lying to me? River of Forgetfulness's surroundings surged with the will of Samsara. I'm not lying to you. According to some historical records of my sect, the devil sect of Samsara once fought with the life-forbidden zone's undying mountain in a vain attempt to find the secret of immortality and then fuse with the secret of Samsara. In the end, they never returned. Xiao Maxian said. After that, she also told River of Forgetfulness some information about the devil sect of Samsara. After River of Forgetfulness heard this, he fell silent. In fact, there was no lack of ancient freaks in the past. When these ancient freaks broke out of their seals, they discovered that the influence they belonged to had long since disappeared. Looking around, they didn't recognize anyone in the world. Perhaps this was the price that ancient freaks had to pay to be sealed away. So you're looking for me not only to cooperate but also to recruit me? River of Forgetfulness saw through this matter. If it was only a cooperation, then Xiao Maxian wouldn't have been so patient to explain. Xiao Maxian giggled. Of course. You are the Saint Samsara body. My celestial demon cult welcomes such a talent. River of Forgetfulness didn't immediately respond. Since the devil sect of Samsara had long since disappeared, River of Forgetfulness naturally had to find another place to settle down. If a single person didn't have a great influence supporting them, it would be difficult for them to grow. The celestial demon cult was indeed strong, but River of Forgetfulness had the Saint Samsara body and was once the strongest saint son of the devil sect of Samsara. He naturally had pride in his heart. If one wanted him to join a great influence, they would have to defeat him first and convince him of their strength. Xiao Maxian was strong. She was even able to exchange pointers with an ancient freak like River of Forgetfulness. But to say that he wanted to defeat him, that would be a fantasy. Moreover, River of Forgetfulness also knew that although Xiao Maxian looked pure and innocent, she was also extremely cunning. He knew the reason the celestial demon cult wanted to recruit him. Besides his talent and strength, there was another reason. There was also another reason. It was the hidden treasure trove of the devil sect of Samsara. As well as the Emperor armament, the 6 Paths of Samsara disc. Recommended reading, Load File 2013. Chapter 227. Every major force had their own treasure trove. The demon sect of Samsara naturally had one. Moreover, the demon sect of Samsara's imperial weapon, the 6 Paths of Samsara disc, was placed in the treasure trove. Now that the demon sect of Samsara had been destroyed, the treasure trove was naturally missing. And Wang Chuan was the person most likely to find the treasure trove. Because he was the last descendant of the demon sect of Samsara. Wang Chuan was well aware of the demon sect's intentions. He didn't expose them. He nodded slightly and said, "We can talk about those things later. But in the lower realms we can cooperate." "All right, it's a deal. With you here, we should be able to contend with that guy." Xiao Maxian muttered. "What do you mean?" Wang Chuan raised his eyebrows. Xiao Maxian's words meant that there was someone in the younger generation who could contend with an ancient freak like him? What a joke. The reason why ancient freaks were called ancient freaks was because they had unparalleled potential. After being sealed for thousands of years, they could sweep away the current generation of heaven's prides. Hey, little brother Wang Chuan, the times have changed. This is no longer your era. In this era, a monster has appeared. A very, very strong monster. Xiao Maxian said as she crossed her arms, a look of fear on her face. Who is it? Wang Chuan was interested. He was once the saint son of the demon sect of Samsara. He also had the saint physique of Samsara. He was an ancient freak. Who could contend with him? The Jun family, Jun Xiaoyao. A very handsome monster. Although I haven't seen him with my own eyes, I've heard his name so many times that my ears have grown calluses. Xiao Moxian pouted. The Jun family. Wang Chuan's eyes trembled. When he heard the demon sect of Samsara, his expression was still calm. But when he heard the Jun family, his expression changed. This was definitely a terrifying family of the remote antiquity. In their era, the Jun family was at the top of the immortal forces. At that time, a heaven's pride of the demon sect of Samsara clashed with a heaven's pride of the Jun family and was killed in the end. The demon sect of Samsara didn't dare to go to the Jun family to seek justice. Instead, they chose to lay low. From this, one could see the prestige and influence of the Jun family in the immortal realm. It had been passed down for tens of thousands of generations and had never declined. I didn't expect it to be the Jun family. It seems that every generation there will be some evildoers. However, this generation's evildoer has piqued my curiosity. Wang Chuan murmured. Don't worry, you will meet him sooner or later. This is because Jun Xiaoyao has also come to the lower realms. Xiao Moxian said. Is that so? Then I would like to see just how powerful this monster is. Two vortexes of reincarnation seemed to appear in Forget Chuan's eyes, layer upon layer. His sacred reincarnation constitution was ranked in the top 50 among the 3,000 constitutions. He believed that even the genius of the Jun family would not be able to compete with him. Not to mention, he also had the 6 paths of reincarnation disc replica, the lesser 6 paths of reincarnation disc. With the divine body and the divine weapon in hand, why would the River of Forgetfulness need to fear anyone? Seeing the fighting spirit in River of Forgetfulness's eyes, Xiao Moxian nodded with satisfaction. One of the reasons why she tried to rope in Forget Chuan was to restrict Jun Xiaoyao. Otherwise, when the crack of the 10 realms opened, wouldn't all the opportunities in the lower realms be taken away by Jun Xiaoyao? However, I've heard that Jun Xiaoyao was born handsome and elegant. Furthermore, his sacred body of the ancients is also very strong in that aspect. Xiao Moxian licked her little tongue, a hint of seduction appearing on her innocent and adorable face. This pure and charming lowly of the celestial demon cult seemed to have a special interest in Jun Xiaoyao, just as the ancient freak River of Forgetfulness was forming an alliance with Xiao Moxian. In another place called the Southern Blue Continent, a young girl was running in a small forest, as if she was avoiding some scourge. Finally, the young girl came to a cliff. There was no path ahead of her. In the sky behind her, a young man with a jade-like face and a reddish-gold robe was leisurely walking over with his hands behind his back. Around the young man, wisps of chaotic energy floated up and down, as if they could crush the void for thousands of miles. The space around him was faintly distorted because of the chaotic energy, as if it was about to shatter. This young man was majestic and had the appearance of a king. He was awe-inspiring. You are the one from the chaotic continent. The young girl trembled with fear in her eyes. In the 10 realms of the lower realms, which continent was the strongest and most prosperous? It was none other than the chaotic continent. There was even a rumor that the chaotic continent was a small part of the celestial realm that fell into the lower realms when the celestial realm fought with the foreign realm and became the chaotic continent. Of course, this legend was too old, and no one knew if it was true or not. However, it could be seen that the chaotic continent had a special status in the 10 realms of the lower realms. It was definitely the core existence. The young man in front of her was the heaven-defying child of the chaotic continent. It could even be said that he was the strongest of the 10 heaven-defying children. As for Forget Chuan, he was not the heaven-defying child, but an ancient freak buried in the lower realms. He had just robbed the heaven-defying child of his fate and origin. Spare my life. I can be a slave or a servant. You can make me do anything. The young girl knelt on the ground and kowtowed, begging. A slave or a servant, are you worthy? The young man's eyes were cold. He did not say anything else and slapped down. Chaotic chi accompanied it and spread in all directions. Without any suspense, the young girl who carried the southern blue continent's origin was slapped to death by the young man. Then, the southern blue continent's origin appeared. The young man reached out and grabbed it. The third one. The young man's lips curled into a faint smile. Including himself and the origin of the chaotic continent. The young man had already obtained 3 balls of the world's origin. In his opinion, he should be the person who obtained the most of the world's origin. In the young man's heart, he had another ambition. He wanted to gather the origin of the 10 realms and gather the fate of the 10 heaven-defying children. He wanted to create an ultimate heaven-defying king. When that time came, how strong would he be? It was simply unimaginable. Just then, a cold and distant voice suddenly rang out, "Li Daoxian, you could have spared the young girl's life and only taken the origin." Hearing this voice that was as refreshing as spring water, the young man called Li Daoxuan's eyes flashed with passion and love. However, he concealed it very well. Not far away, a beautiful figure in a blurry green robe and flowing with heavenly light was sitting cross-legged on a green lotus. She crossed the sky. Her figure was graceful and her face was covered with a veil. Her heavenly light was hazy, and only a pair of crystal-like eyes could be seen, as if they were reflecting the clear lake water. Her aura was like a green lotus that had just bloomed and was untainted by dust. Although the woman's face was covered by a thin veil, the vaguely revealed outline of her absolute beauty made people have the urge to take a peek at her beautiful face. This woman was Ji Qing-yi. Recommended reading. Load file 2013. Chapter 228. Ji Qing-yi sat cross-legged on the green lotus. She looked otherworldly and otherworldly. There were countless beautiful women in the world. However, it was rare to see a woman with a special aura. Even Jun Xiaoyao had been impressed by Ji Qing-yi's cold and fairy-like aura. This woman was not from the mortal world and was rarely heard of in the human world. In the celestial realm, there were countless young elites who were impressed by Ji Qing-yi. Not to mention in the lower world. Li Daoxuan's eyes were burning with passion, but he did not comment on her words. Even a wildfire can't burn it out. I don't think I did anything wrong. Of course, if Fairy Qing-yi thinks it's inappropriate, I can change it. Li Daoxian smiled elegantly. He felt that he could be considered a handsome man, and he was also someone who carried great fortune. He was the strongest among the 10 heaven-defying children. Logically speaking, he should be very charming. However, ever since Ji Qing-yi had found him, she had always maintained a certain distance from him. As for their relationship, it was a normal cooperative relationship. There were no feelings involved. Li Daoxian was confused. Was he not good enough to catch Ji Qing-yi's eye? Hearing Li Daoxuan's words, Ji Qing-yi shook her head. She had come to the lower world to look for fortuitous opportunities. On the other hand, she was responsible for recruiting talents for the Ren Immortal sect. The elder of the Ren Immortal sect had told her that the 10 heaven-defying children with great luck would be born in the lower world. If they did not die in the future, they would be able to become supreme beings. That was why Ji Qing-yi was sent to find them. Ji Qing-yi quickly found Li Daoxian. His aptitude, luck, and strength were undoubtedly at the top even among the 10 heaven-defying children. However, Ji Qing-yi did not like his personality. Li Daoxian even seemed to have other thoughts about her. However, in the lower world, she still needed Li Daoxuan's luck. Because the crack of the 10 worlds was the greatest fortuitous opportunity in the lower world. However, not everyone could enter it. With Li Daoxuan's luck, he should be able to enter it. Therefore, Ji Qing-yi was just using Li Daoxian now. Li Daoxian naturally understood, but he was also using Ji Qing-yi. Fairy Qing-yi, you said that you would help me find the source of the other worlds and become a heaven-defying king. Li Daoxian said. I will naturally help you. After all, at that time, I will still have to deal with that person from the demonic celestial cult with you. Ji Qingyi's eyes were deep as she spoke. Her competitor, the celestial demon cult's Xiao Maxian, was also in the lower realms. Ji Qingyi also understood that it was impossible for Xiao Maxian to fight alone. She would also look for allies to form an alliance. Now, it was time to see whose ally was more powerful. It was the ancient freak Wang Chuan. And it was the most heaven-defying son, Li Daoxian. Haha, Fairy Qingyi, don't worry. I will naturally do my best to help you deal with that person from the demonic celestial cult. Li Daoxian laughed. He was still very confident in his own strength. Don't be overconfident. Be careful of failing miserably. After all, the outside world is saying that you have the chaotic body. However, you should know what it is, Ji Qingyi warned. Li Daoxuan's smile faded slightly. Indeed, the outside world was saying that a chaotic body had appeared in the chaotic continent, and it was him, Li Daoxian. A terrifying physique like the chaotic body was ranked in the top 10 among the 3,000 physique. It was enough to compete with supreme physiques like the sacred body of the ancient. However, the chaotic body was rarely seen in the entire celestial realm. How could it appear in the lower realms? Love me. This was also the most incomprehensible thing to everyone. However, only Li Daoxian knew. He didn't have the chaotic body at all. He had only obtained the chaotic origin of the chaotic continent. After fusing with the chaotic origin, he could control the power of chaos and was tainted with the aura of chaos. It was indeed very similar to the legendary chaotic body. However, there was an essential difference between the two. Ji Qingyi's words were very straightforward. She was doing it for Li Daoxuan's sake. She didn't want the genius that she had recruited with great difficulty to die because of his arrogance. However, Li Daoxian was a little unhappy. If he gathered the world origin into his body, he would become a heaven-defying king. Even if he faced a true chaotic body, he wouldn't be afraid. I understand. Thank you for your warning, Fairy Qingyi, Li Daoxian said lightly. At the same time, he swore in his heart. One day, he would definitely conquer this cold and arrogant fairy. Oh right, other than the demonic celestial cult, there is another person that you must pay special attention to. If you meet him, don't think too much. Hide if you can, Ji Qingyi said. Hide if I can? This time, Li Daoxian was really a little frustrated. How much did Ji Qingyi look down on him? She actually told him to hide if he could. After all, he was the strongest heaven-defying son. Did he not care about his face? I wonder who Fairy Qingyi is talking about? Li Daoxian suppressed his frustration and said coldly. Jun Xiaoyao from the Jun family, Ji Qingyi said. Until now, she still couldn't forget that time at the Heaven Dao Tower. The extraordinary figure that Jun Xiaoyao manifested with his back facing everyone seemed to be able to suppress the heavens and the universe. This was definitely an extremely dangerous person. Anyone who made him their enemy would die without a doubt. Ji Qingyi's words and tone made Li Daoxian a little unhappy. He was even a little jealous. Why did it feel like Ji Qingyi's words were more of admiration and lament? Since Jun Xiaoyao is so strong, why didn't Fairy Qingyi find him for an alliance instead of me? Li Daoxuan's tone was a little jealous. Ji Qingyi shook her head and said, he doesn't need to form an alliance with anyone. He alone can defeat everyone in the lower world. This was serious. What she meant was that Jun Xiaoyao alone could defeat any prodigy in the lower worlds, including those from the immortal realm. Oh? Is he really that powerful? Li Daoxuan's eyes were filled with doubt and disapproval. Could it be that Ji Qingyi was trying to suppress him and temper his Dao heart? You'll know if you meet him. Alright, let's not waste time. Ji Qingyi's beautiful figure flew into the sky as soon as she finished speaking. Looking at Ji Qingyi's departing figure, Li Daoxuan's eyes shone. Qingyi, I will definitely conquer you. There's also that Jun Xiaoyao. If he shows up, I'll defeat him right in front of you. I, Li Daoxian, am the man worthy of your attention. As Li Daoxian thought of this, the chaotic aura around him surged, causing the surrounding void to crack and become filled with cracks. Just as the other continents were in turmoil, the Dragon Kingdom, the Dayan dynasty, was also ready to set off. Under Jun Xiaoyao's lead, a large group of people passed through the Transrealm Transportation Formation and headed towards the continent where the ancient god clan was. This time, Jun Xiaoyao was determined to completely quell the storm of the 10 sinners. Chapter 229. The continent where the ancient god clan resided was called the Myriad Continent. The 10 continents in the 10 lands of the lower worlds had different levels of prosperity. The Myriad Continent was the second most prosperous continent after the Chaos Continent. Therefore, the various factions and races on this continent were extremely diverse and complex. Of course, the heaven-defying geniuses born on this continent were also the strongest existences apart from Li Daoxian. Jun Xiaoyao set foot on the Myriad Continent with a group of people and began to gather information. To his surprise, he didn't just find out about the ancient god clan. Jun Xiaoyao also found another piece of information. It came from the Jiang family. The Jiang family's spirit king physique, Jiang Zuling? Jun Xiaoyao raised an eyebrow. The Dayan dynasty intelligence officer in front of him had told him some information. Among them was this genius from the Jiang family. However, Jiang Zuling's reputation on the Myriad Continent wasn't very good. Many natives of the continent called him the executioner. Wherever he went, not even a blade of grass would grow. All resources would be plundered by him. Jiang Zuling had even destroyed many factions on the Myriad Continent. Even the Qin dynasty, once the #1 dynasty on the continent, had been destroyed by him. The reason for their destruction was that a prince of the Qin dynasty possessed a connate spirit bone that was quite compatible with Jiang Zuling's spirit king physique. Therefore, for the sake of this connate spirit bone, he directly ordered the Tao Protector to take action and destroy the entire dynasty. This was definitely the work of a demon king. However, many of the geniuses of the lower worlds had done the same. It could only be said that only the strong survived. There was no logic to it. A dynasty destroyed and a spirit bone dug out. Why does this feel so familiar? Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself. The Qin dynasty prince who'd had his bone dug out might be the heaven-defying genius of the Myriad Continent. Jun Xiaoyao felt that he had to find Jiang Zuling. According to the plot, Jiang Zuling should have been slapped in the face by the Qin dynasty prince. After all, Jun Xiaoyao's mother, Jiang Ro, had once been the goddess of the Jiang family. Half of the Jiang family's blood flowed through his veins. If Jun Xiaoyao went to the Jiang family, he would be treated like a young master. He would definitely be a core member of the family. Jun Xiaoyao had a premonition that his clansmen were at risk of being slapped in the face. Naturally, he could not turn a blind eye to this. More importantly, Jun Xiaoyao still needed to harvest the heaven-defying children and obtain the world's origin. Therefore, if the prince of the Qin dynasty really was the heaven-defying son of the Myriad Continent, all the more reason for him to go. After finding out where Jiang Zuling appeared, Jun Xiaoyao decided to take his group to find Jiang Zuling. The rest of the people from the Dayan dynasty went to the ancient god clan to support them. The Kanglan sect was one of the more powerful sects on the Myriad Continent. However, at this moment, the Kanglan sect's base was filled with raging flames and smoke. Countless cultivators of the Kanglan sect were screaming in agony. At this moment, in the sky, a young man whose entire body was filled with spiritual energy stood with his hands behind his back. There was a disdainful smile on his face. He looked at the grief-stricken cultivators of the Kanglan sect as if they were ants. He was none other than the Jiang family's spirit king physique, Jiang Zuling. This is the 6th faction I've destroyed, but their resources are truly plentiful. It seems that the lower worlds are not as barren as I thought. Jiang Zuling chuckled softly. He was in a good mood. Although he possessed the spirit king physique, he was not one of the top geniuses in the Jiang family. He was even inferior to his cousin, Jiang Luoli, who possessed the Yuan spirit Dao physique. Therefore, Jiang Zuling had not been able to obtain particularly abundant resources from the Jiang family. Therefore, Jiang Zuling had gone into a frenzy of plundering in the lower world. His gains were indeed gratifying. Not only had he obtained all kinds of resources, but most importantly, he'd obtained an innate spirit bone. The innate spirit bone paired with his spirit king physique was not as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. It was a qualitative leap. That guy should be dead by now, right? Jiang Zuling sneered when he thought of the Qin dynasty prince whose bones he'd dug out. He was just an ant from the lower worlds, but he still wanted to overturn the heavens. The reason why Jiang Zuling didn't kill him at that time was that he wanted him to struggle in pain and die with hatred in the end. But why hasn't cousin Luoli descended yet? Does the family not plan to let her descend? Jiang Zuling murmured in his heart. He was still hoping to rely on Jiang Luoli to build a relationship with Jun Xiaoyao and get acquainted with him. In this way, wouldn't his plan fall through? Young master, we're almost done with this sect. 2 elders appeared beside him. They were both sages. Thank you for your trouble. Jiang Zuling nodded slightly. The reason why he could be so arrogant and easily exterminate an entire sect was because of the 2 elders. Haha, they're just some ants from the lower worlds. Don't worry about them. One of the elders chuckled. At this moment, an extremely cold voice rang out from the void. What an ant from the lower world! In the eyes of people from the immortal realms like you, we from the lower world are fish on the chopping board, waiting to be slaughtered? Hearing this voice, Jiang Zuling's eyes flashed. Why did he feel like he had heard this voice before? In the distant sky, a young man in a brocade robe walked over. Seeing this familiar face, Jiang Zuling was stunned at first, then a playful look appeared on his face. This young man in a brocade robe was the prince of the Qin dynasty, Qin Hao, whose bones he had dug out. I was wondering who it was. So it's you, the useless prince. I was kind enough to spare your life that day, but I didn't expect you to really survive. Seeing Qin Hao's arrival, Jiang Zuling's face was very calm and even looked like a cat playing with a mouse. That's right, Qin Hao was just an ant in his eyes. Even if he was lucky enough to survive, so what? Could he still pose a threat to him? And don't forget, not only was Jiang Zuling himself very powerful, but he also had 2 sages as protectors. How could Qin Hao pose a threat to him? Those who humiliate others will be humiliated, and those who kill others will be killed. You're so perverse and easily exterminated sects and clans. Aren't you afraid of retribution? Qin Hao said righteously. He was simply the light of righteousness, illuminating the earth. Hearing this, Jiang Zuling was stunned at first, then suddenly looked up and laughed. Ridiculous. Too ridiculous. In Jiang Zuling's eyes, Qin Hao's words were as childish as a child's. The weak were prey to the strong in this world. How could there be so much logic to speak of? And if the Emperor Road opened in the future, there would be all kinds of crueler things. Therefore, such righteous words were very ridiculous in the eyes of a genius like Jiang Zuling. What are you laughing at? If you have the guts, fight me again. Qin Hao's eyes surged with cold flames. Oh, a little ant like you has the guts to challenge me? Fine, let me teach you a lesson. Jiang Zuling smiled. His interest was piqued. He wanted to know what kind of storm this ant could stir up. At this moment, Qin Hao's body suddenly shook, and the world origin power surged. Jiang Zuling's expression changed instantly. Recommended reading. Load file 2013. Chapter 230. The world origin power in Qin Hao's body was so powerful that it shook the world. Blessed by the world origin, he seemed to be able to gather all the power of the myriad continent into himself. The aura made Jiang Zuling frown deeply. He sensed that things weren't as simple as they seemed. When did this kid become so powerful? Jiang Zuling wondered in his heart. He could clearly feel that Qin Hao was different from before. It was as if he'd become a different person. Are you surprised? Are you shocked? Let me tell you, no one is born high and mighty. Even an earthworm can ascend to the heavens and become a dragon. Qin Hao attacked. Purple lightning flashed in his hand with surging power. This was the Thunder Sky Sparrow's ability. Lightning interwove as soon as it was used, turning into a lightning sparrow that charged at Jiang Zuling. With Qin Hao's great fortune as the son of the heavens, all kinds of opportunities and abilities came easily to him. Jiang Zuling snorted. Although Qin Hao's state was a bit strange, he was still no match for him. Not only did he have the spiritual king body, but his strength had also skyrocketed after obtaining Qin Hao's innate spiritual bone. Therefore, Jiang Zuling was confident that he could suppress Qin Hao. Jiang Zuling also counterattacked. A spiritual qi palm struck out, compressing the air to the extreme with an ear-piercing sonic boom. The two immediately became entangled in a fight. The two Dao protectors watched from the side. Jiang Zuling didn't say anything, so they wouldn't interfere. The necessary tempering still had to be done. Jiang Zuling's entire body surged with spiritual qi. His every move was imbued with dense spiritual qi and extremely powerful. This was the advantage of the spiritual king body. What surprised Jiang Zuling was that Qin Hao's cultivation wasn't much weaker than his. Moreover, when he unleashed the world's origin energy, even he felt that it was a little tricky. It seems that I have to get serious. Jiang Zuling narrowed his eyes slightly. He didn't want to fail miserably and become one of the geniuses of the immortal region defeated by geniuses of the lower world. Myriad Dao spiritual stove. Jiang Zuling's spiritual power and spiritual qi surged, condensing into a furnace in the air. The opening of the furnace seemed to be able to refine all things. This was one of the Jiang family's great combat arts. Its power was terrifying. When Qin Hao saw this, he slapped out with his palm. It was accompanied by a five-colored energy tide that swept out and spread out. Behind him, a cluster of colorful and strange substances vaguely appeared. It really is the world origin. Jiang Zuling's eyes burned with passion. If one were to ask what was the most precious and tempting opportunity in the lower realm, it would be the most precious. Nothing could surpass the world's origin. Being able to obtain even one ball was already a great opportunity. Haha, Qin Hao, you're simply my gift giver. I want this world source. Jiang Zuling laughed loudly, and the myriad spiritual stove of myriad Tao collided with Qin Hao's world's origin giant handprint, causing a shockwave. Jiang Zuling landed in front of Qin Hao with a mysterious movement technique and sneered. Qin Hao, have a taste of your own innate divine ability. Jiang Zuling's chest flashed with light. It was the innate spirit bone glowing. Although the innate spiritual bone was far from being comparable to the supreme bone, it was still a rather good special physique. A blazing beam of spiritual power shot out of the innate spirit bone. However, who would have thought that an icy cold smile would suddenly surface on Qin Hao's face? You want to use my bone to deal with me? You're really courting death. Qin Hao roared. His chest actually burst forth with light once again, and it was extremely dazzling. What, you? Jiang Zuling was really surprised and let out a cry of surprise. He had never heard that the innate spirit bone could be reborn again after being dug out. I, Qin Hao, am favored by the world. I rose against the trend just to deal with an inhumane person like you. The light from Qin Hao's chest directly swallowed the light beam of Jiang Zuling's innate spirit bone. Then, without slowing down, it charged toward Jiang Zuling. Jiang Zuling hurriedly dodged, but his shoulder was still grazed, bringing out a spray of blood. Damn it! Jiang Zuling's face darkened. Qin Hao's luck was too heaven-defying. How dare you hurt young master? You're courting death. The two protectors' faces also darkened, and they couldn't help but attack. At this moment, Qin Hao said coldly, Don't you dare to attack me. Hearing this, the two protectors were a bit dumbfounded. Where did this aunt from the lower world get the courage to speak to them in such a tone? They were saints. Seeing this, Qin Hao clapped his hands. In the distance, Saint Realm fluctuations suddenly erupted. Several saints appeared at the same time. Among these saints, there were saints from the ancient demon clan and the ancient monster clan. There was also a saint with pitch-black wings on his back and burning with black flames. This made Jiang Zuling and the two protectors' expressions change. What shocked them even more was yet to come. In the void, a spatial cage appeared. In it was the petite figure of Linglong. She had bright eyes and white teeth, and her black hair was tied into two ponytails. Her eyelashes were long, her eyes were bright, her nose was straight, and her lips were like cherry blossoms. At this moment, her watery eyes were full of grievance, and her little face was full of depression and unhappiness. She pursed her lips. Who else could it be but Jiang Luoli? Cousin? Jiang Zuling was a bit stunned. He thought that the family didn't let Jiang Luoli go to the lower world. But now, what was going on? Boo-hoo! Cousin, save me! Jiang Luoli felt very wronged. Indeed, the Jiang family didn't plan to let Jiang Luoli go to the lower world. After all, Jiang Luoli was the apple of the Jiang family's eye and was doted on by the elders. How could they bear to let Jiang Luoli go to the lower world to suffer, not to mention the risks? With Jiang Luoli's primordial spirit Tao body, as long as she stayed in the family to cultivate, she would naturally grow up. There was no need to take risks and suffer. However, after learning that Jun Xiaoyao had gone to the lower world, Jiang Luoli made up her mind to go there. Therefore, Jiang Luoli didn't tell anyone, nor did she have any protectors by her side. She secretly ran out and used a special method to go to the lower world. However, after going to the lower world, she was caught when she wanted to find Jun Xiaoyao. However, these people seemed to know that she was related to Jiang Zuling, so they didn't kill her. They just imprisoned her and used her as a bargaining chip. Miss. The two protectors of the Jiang family saw this scene and their expressions changed drastically. Jiang Luoli's identity and status were much more important than Jiang Zuling's. How dare you imprison my cousin? Do you want to die? Jiang Zuling shouted coldly. Although he was cold and cruel, he was only like this to people in the lower world. Jiang Luoli's status was higher than his, and she was his cousin. Jiang Zuling didn't dare to be careless. Boo-hoo, you big bad guys, how dare you imprison me? If Brother Xiaoyao knows, he will definitely beat you up. Jiang Luoli felt wronged. The twin ponytails behind her small head drooped down, making her look like a lop-eared rabbit. She finally went to the lower world and wanted to see Brother Xiaoyao, who she missed day and night. In the end, he was caught like a rabbit in a cage. Jiang Luoli felt wronged, and tears welled up in her eyes. I feel bitter, but I won't say it. Recommended reading. Load file 2013. Chapter 231. Seeing Jiang Luoli on the verge of tears, Jiang Zuling's eyes burned with anger. Jiang Luoli was the apple of the Jiang family's eye, the little princess who was loved by everyone. She was also lively and cute, and many elders of the Jiang family loved her. If anything happened to Jiang Luoli because of him, the elders of the Jiang family would skin him alive. You aunt! Jiang Zuling's face was extremely gloomy. Hearing Jiang Zuling call him an aunt, Qin Hao's face was full of coldness. He attacked again and completely unleashed his strength. As for Jiang Zuling, because of Jiang Luoli, he didn't dare to fight with all his strength. Therefore, he was suppressed by Qin Hao for a while. The two protectors were also restrained by the saints of the ancient demon clan and the ancient demon clan. As followers of the Jun family, do you really want to go against the Jiang family? A protector of the Jiang family said coldly. Everyone in the mystic region knew that the Jun family and the Jiang family were in the same boat. The followers of the Jun family naturally knew. But they still wanted to go against the Jiang family. Humph, we're no longer followers of the Jun family. The ancient demon clan will never be slaves. And the ancient demon clan will never be slaves. The saints of the ancient demon clan and the ancient demon clan said coldly. Their words were full of confidence. Seeing this, the two protectors of the Jiang family understood in their hearts. The ancient demon clan and the ancient demon clan must have someone supporting them. That was why they were so fearless and even dared to betray the Jun family. They looked again at the saint with black wings on his back and black flames around him. The Netherworld Sparrow Clan. The two saints' eyes flashed. This clan was also one of the 10 sinful clans suppressed by the Jun family. They didn't expect them to break out of the seal. Now the situation was a bit tricky. Jiang Luoli was in their hands, and there were 3 saints present. Even if they attacked, they wouldn't be able to gain any advantage. On the other side, Jiang Zuling didn't use his full strength because of his scruples, so he was suppressed and had some injuries on his body. You ant, don't you claim to be the embodiment of justice? Why would you use such despicable means? Jiang Zuling mocked coldly. To deal with extraordinary people, extraordinary methods must be used. For someone like you who has committed so much sin, it is normal to use any method, Qin Hao said in a dignified manner. He used another powerful technique. The origin power of the world surged and turned into a heaven-suppressing seal that suppressed Jiang Zuling. Jiang Zuling also retaliated. Right at this moment, Qin Hao's footsteps suddenly flashed, and he landed in front of Jiang Zuling with extreme speed before striking out with his palm. You think you can deal with me with this kind of child's play? Jiang Zuling sneered and blocked the attack. Suddenly, a black flame flashed by Qin Hao's side. Soon after, a beautiful young girl with black wings on her back suddenly appeared and attacked together with Qin Hao. What? Jiang Zuling's mind went blank for a moment. In the next moment there was a loud boom. Jiang Zuling spat out blood and flew backward. His chest was charred black and badly mutilated. Lord! The two protectors' expressions changed. They were about to attack, but they were restrained by the saints of the ancient demon clan and the ancient monster clan. You! Jiang Zuling stabilized himself and spat out another mouthful of blood. He stared at the black-winged girl with a deadly expression. You took Qin Hao's bone. Today you will pay for it, the black-winged girl said coldly. You are the 9 secret underworld Sparrow clan. Jiang Zuling's expression was terrible. He didn't expect Qin Hao to have such a trump card. Qin Hao sneered and said, I have to thank you. If it weren't for you digging out my bone, I might not have met 9 underworld. As he spoke, he looked at 9 underworld with a gentle gaze. When Qin Hao's bone was dug out by Jiang Zuling and he was on the verge of death, it was 9 underworld's appearance that saved him. Then she accompanied him all the way to his rise. Qin Hao also went to the ancient demon clan and the ancient monster clan for 9 underworld Sparrow clan to find a way to break the seal. There was already a deep relationship between the two of them. Damn it, if I knew this would happen, I would have killed you. Jiang Zuling was somewhat regretful, his expression dark. However, he didn't know. In the usual plot, he was just Qin Hao's stepping stone. Qin Hao would use him as a stepping stone to rise up, and then completely rise up. 9 underworlds, let's attack and kill him. Qin Hao's eyes were cold as he spoke. Generally speaking, cutting the grass without removing the roots and talking a lot of nonsense were the characteristics of villains. As the protagonist, Qin Hao wouldn't make such mistakes. Therefore, he had to kill Jiang Zuling. You really dare to kill me? Jiang Zuling's eyes surged with murderous intent. Even if I don't kill you, you will kill me. In that case, why don't I kill you first? After Qin Hao finished speaking, he didn't say anything else and attacked Jiang Zuling with 9 underworld. His 2 protectors were completely locked down by the saints of the ancient demon clan and the ancient monster clan and couldn't help at all. Damn it! Seeing Qin Hao and 9 underworld coming at him, Jiang Zuling's expression was very ugly. He probably didn't know that as a villain, he was born to be trampled on by Qin Hao. Am I really going to die in the hands of ants from the lower world today? Jiang Zuling suddenly thought. Cousin! Jiang Luoli, who was imprisoned by the spatial cage, also paled. Although Jiang Zuling was only her distant cousin and they didn't have a deep family relationship. However, Jiang Zuling was still family. Jiang Luoli naturally didn't want to see her family die. Just at this critical moment, Yi Zichen's eyes lit up. All of a sudden, a terrifying arrow pierced through the void and came from afar. Qin Hao, watch out! Nine Underworld's expression changed, and he hurriedly turned around to block. Meanwhile, another beautiful figure flashed over with extreme speed from another direction, and it charged towards Nine Nether. Who is it? Nine Underworld scolded coldly. Qin Hao also turned around, taking action to resist. Rumble! Shock waves exploded, shaking the sky. In the distance, a bare-chested young man with a sun totem branded on his chest and holding the star execution bow of destruction appeared. It was Yu. His 9 arrows were released in succession, shooting murderously at Qin Hao. At the same time, on the other side, a woman in a tight black dress appeared. She was slender and beautiful. Her skin was extremely white, and her hair was draped over her shoulders. There was a pair of black and white wings on her back that flowed with yin and yang qi. She looked like a beautiful dark fallen angel. It was Yan Qingying. The fallen angel wings on her back flapped, and she attacked 9 Underworld. Due to the fact that this scene was too sudden, the people present were all stunned for a long time before they managed to regain their senses. Jiang Zuling was dumbfounded. He didn't understand why this person suddenly appeared to help him. Just as the saints of the ancient demon race, ancient monster race, and 9 netherworld sparrow race were attracted by Yu and Yan Qingying. Behind the spatial cage that imprisoned Jiang Luoli, a white-robed figure holding a sword quietly appeared. He slashed at the spatial cage. The cage was instantly shattered and a crack appeared. Come out, you silly girl. The white-clothed figure spoke with a sigh and a hint of helplessness. Recommended reading. Load file 2013. Chapter 232. Jiang Luoli, who had been staying in the space cage with a bitter look on her face, heard the gentle voice, and her twin ponytails perked up. She turned around and saw the handsome man she had been thinking about day and night. His clothes were as white as snow, and he was shrouded in celestial light. There was a hint of helplessness on his flawless face. Who else could it be but Jun Xiaoyao? Brother Xiaoyao. Jiang Luoli was stunned for a moment before she came back to her senses. She suddenly shouted out, and her face was flushed with excitement. Then, like a swallow returning to its nest, she pounced on Jun Xiaoyao. Her white and thin limbs wrapped tightly around Jun Xiaoyao like an octopus. She was like a cute pendant. Jun Xiaoyao was speechless. If it were not for his strong sacred body of the ancients, he would have been suffocated by Jiang Luoli's small arms and legs. Get down. Jun Xiaoyao sighed helplessly. He could be indifferent to anyone and be very indifferent to them. Only this silly girl gave him a headache and a headache. She was also Jun Xiaoyao's daughter-in-law, although Jun Xiaoyao did not admit it himself. No, brother Xiaoyao. I came to the lower realm to see you, but I was kidnapped. Boo-hoo! Jiang Luoli's snowy legs were wrapped around Jun Xiaoyao's waist, and her white arms were wrapped around his neck as she complained in his ear. Who would dare to kidnap you, the little princess of the Jiang family? Isn't that suicide? Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly and shook his head. There's someone who doesn't know his place. Jiang Luoli pouted and snorted. Jun Xiaoyao ignored Jiang Luoli, who was clinging to him, and looked around. He immediately saw the ancient demons, and the saints of the netherworld Sparrow clan. Only then did they realize what was going on, and their faces were cold. Who are you? The ancient demon saint shouted coldly. However, the 2 protectors of the Jiang family looked extremely excited when they saw that Jun Xiaoyao had saved Jiang Luoli. They cupped their hands and greeted him. This old man greets the Son of God of the June family. Thank you, Son of God, for saving the young miss. The two protectors were very excited. Just now, they were having a headache about how to save Jiang Luoli and Jiang Zuling. In the blink of an eye, all the problems were solved. Jiang Luoli was rescued, and Jiang Zuling also escaped a calamity. Who is the Son of God of the June family? Qin Hao, whose plan was ruined, had an ugly expression. He naturally didn't know who Jun Xiaoyao was, or what kind of status he had in the immortal realm. A frog at the bottom of a well would never be able to see the vastness of the ocean. You are Qin Hao? Jun Xiaoyao stared at Qin Hao, his countenance as cold as the heavens. This kind of indifferent gaze caused Qin Hao to feel extremely displeased. It was the same look of disdain and indifference again. As for Jiang Zuling, she was extremely surprised and said, "Thank you, brother-in-law, for saving us." Brother-in-law? Jun Xiaoyao tilted his head slightly. When did he become someone else's brother-in-law? Jiang Luoli, who was hanging on his body, chuckled and winked at Jiang Zuling. She meant, well done. The saints of the ancient demon clan, and the 9 Netherworld Sparrow clan were surprised when they heard the words, Son of God of the June family. Faintly, there was also a trace of fear. After all, once bitten, twice shy. Now that they heard the words, June family, the saints of the 9 Netherworld Sparrow clan were scared. Who cares? Let's take him down first. The saints of the ancient demons and ancient demons looked at each other and charged at Jun Xiaoyao. If they were able to suppress the divine child, then the Jun family would at least be a little more cautious against them. However, they were still too naive. Patriarch Dongxian and Gu Yuan flashed out and collided with the saints of the ancient demon clan and the ancient demon clan. The two protectors of the Jiang family also made their moves, filled with anger. The Jiang family and the Jun family together had 4 saints against the 3 saints of the ancient demon clan, and the 9 Netherworld Sparrow clan. Jun Xiaoyao did not attack for the time being. Instead, he looked at Qin Hao. Qin Hao saw this scene and his face turned slightly pale. He knew that his plan had completely failed. Not only did he fail to kill Jiang Zuling, but he had also put himself in danger. And all of this was because of the white-robed man. Just as Qin Hao was filled with resentment, a beautiful woman's scream rang out. Hearing this, Qin Hao suddenly turned his head and saw a scene that made his eyes pop out of their socket. Half of 9 Nether's black wings had been torn apart by Yan Qingying, and blood splattered in the sky. Yan Qingying's eyes were deep like the stars in the night sky, with a hint of coldness. Although she acted like a little girl in front of Jun Xiaoyao, she was as cold as the Queen of Darkness when facing her enemies. Jun Xiaoyao's words were the highest order. 9 Nether was Qin Hao's little sister. However, her strength was only at the level of a genius. Although she was very outstanding among her peers, she could not be too strong. Yan Qingying was one of the 10 heaven-defying children. Although the world's origin had been given to Jun Xiaoyao, she was still the successor of the god-swallowing demonic technique. In addition, Yan Qingying had devoured the fallen son of God and the demon god bloodline of the Sky Demon Prince. Her strength had also skyrocketed to a terrifying level. It was more than enough to deal with 9 Nether. Die. Yan Qingying attacked and activated the god-swallowing demonic technique. A pitch-black devouring vortex appeared in the void and erupted with a suction force, trying to pull 9 Nether into it. No! 9 Nether struggled with all her might. She was the strongest genius of the 9 Netherworld Sparrow clan, but now, in front of Yan Qingying, she did not have much strength to resist. In just a short moment, 9 Nether's delicate body was pulled into the devouring vortex. Her delicate body exploded inch by inch, turning into pure flesh and blood energy that was absorbed by Yan Qingying. 9 Nether! Ah! Qin Hao gnashed his teeth in grief and indignation. He felt as if his heart was being torn apart. That was the beauty who had accompanied him all the way. They even agreed that after everything calmed down, they would find a place to quietly spend the rest of their lives. But now, everything beautiful was shattered before his eyes. Jiang Zuling laughed loudly. He was very happy, and the resentment in his heart was finally released. Qin Hao's eyes were as red as blood. At this moment, an arrow suddenly pierced through his back. Qin Hao hurriedly dodged, but his shoulder was still pierced through, and blood splattered everywhere. "How dare you be distracted while fighting me? You're courting death." Yu's eyes were cold. He looked at Nine Nether, who had turned into a bloody mist, looked at Yu's cold and disdainful eyes, and looked at Jiang Zuling's happy laughter. Qin Hao was about to go crazy. His blood surged, and he felt like he was about to explode. Suddenly, his blood-red eyes locked onto Jun Xiaoyao, who was standing indifferently on the horizon. "It's him. It's all his fault. If he hadn't appeared and ruined my plan, Nine Nether wouldn't have died. Even if I, Qin Hao, die today, I'll drag you down with me." Qin Hao roared at the sky, completely unleashing his little universe as the main character. His blood and qi surged to the 9 heavens, and the innate spiritual bone in his chest also began to tremble, bursting with unprecedented brilliance. He also activated the world origin energy of the myriad continent to the extreme. Die! Qin Hao exploded with all his strength, and like a flaming meteor, he attacked Jun Xiaoyao. Even if Jun Xiaoyao was a god, Qin Hao would defy the heavens and slay him. Chapter 233. At this moment, Qin Hao was going all out. His little universe had reached its limit. The power of the connate spirit bone and the origin energy of the world. The two forces were pushed to the extreme at the same time. They even merged together to form a destructive attack. Feeling this aura, even Jiang Zuling, who had been disdainful of Qin Hao before, was shocked. He asked himself if he was in Qin Hao's position. Even if he might not be killed instantly, he would at least be severely injured and lose his ability to fight. These geniuses from the lower worlds are each more heaven-defying than the other. Jiang Zuling was a little scared. Of course, he didn't know that these heaven-defying geniuses from the lower worlds were best at challenging those of a higher level and using hack. One of the characteristics of the heaven-defying geniuses was to become stronger when facing a strong opponent. Qin Hao had obviously taken advantage of this characteristic to the extreme. At this moment, Qin Hao was determined to die together with Jun Xiaoyao. He also thought he could do it. However, he didn't see the mockery and disdain in the eyes of Yan Qingying and Yu. Rumble! Qin Hao was like a burning meteor. Wherever he passed, the void trembled and pitch-black spatial cracks appeared. As expected of the heaven-defying geniuses, this Qin Hao is quite imposing. Seeing Qin Hao charging at him fiercely, Jun Xiaoyao's face was as calm as an ancient well. He even commented like an outsider who was watching a show. Brother Xiaoyao, Jiang Luoli's eyes were filled with worry. At this moment, Qin Hao's aura made her snow-white skin have goosebumps, and she felt a sense of danger. She didn't want Jun Xiaoyao to be hurt at all. "Ha!" Jun Xiaoyao chuckled. The corner of his lips curled up. He said calmly, "Hold on tight." Jiang Luoli didn't react. Jun Xiaoyao reached out his right hand and activated the strength of the hell-crushing divine elephant. Golden blood rose and turned into a divine elephant that suppressed the universe. At the same time, the power of the 70 origin immortal bones exploded forth. Immortal light and divine energy surged like an ocean. If one were to say that the current Qin Hao was a heaven-defying god of war in the mortal world, then Jun Xiaoyao would be the supreme divine king who could suppress the universe. Jun Xiaoyao held onto Jiang Luoli's slender waist with his left hand, preventing her from being blown away by the ripples of transcendence energy. His right hand clenched into a fist, fusing 3.7 billion gene of divine force with the power of the 70 origin immortal bones as he punched at Qin Hao. Wherever the fist spread out, space shattered inch by inch. The two figures collided in an instant. In an instant, heaven and earth lost their voices and fell into absolute silence. Only a dazzling brilliance slowly spread out from the center of the two of them. After a few breaths of time, the light spread out rapidly. At the same time, a deafening roar suddenly erupted. Even Patriarch Dongxian, Gu Yuan, the guardians of the Jiang family, and the saints of the ancient demons, ancient monsters, and 9 netherworld sparrows who were fighting were affected by the ripples and couldn't help but look over. Yu, Yan Qingying, Su Ziqiong, the 9-headed lion, and Jiang Zuling all stared at the center of the explosion without blinking. A gust of wind blew past, blowing away the dust. The scene inside was also revealed. Jun Xiaoyao held on to Jiang Luoli with his left hand and reached out with his right hand, punching through Qin Hao's chest. Qin Hao seemed to be frozen in the void, his face filled with disbelief. Viscous blood continuously flowed from the corner of his mouth. How is this possible? Qin Hao said with difficulty, his face as pale as a sheet. He couldn't accept the result at all. He had unleashed all of his strength, unleashed all of his skills, and unleashed his ultimate move. Jun Xiaoyao had blocked it with a single hand. The most infuriating thing was that Jun Xiaoyao was still holding on to the girl with his left hand. This was a real case of hugging a girl to death. Don't use your insignificant body to challenge the dignity of the Son of God. Jun Xiaoyao's handsome face was cold like a god. Brother Xiaoyao. Jiang Luoli, who was in his arms, her face was as gorgeous as the sun reflecting the snow. Her eyes were filled with stars and splendor. Jun Xiaoyao was simply too handsome and mesmerizing at the moment. She felt extremely safe being in his arms. My brother-in-law is so flirtatious. Jiang Zuling was speechless not far away. She was secretly envious. Hugging a girl with his left hand and killing the enemy with his right. Suppressing everything with a single move. This was not something that anyone could do. Yu's eyes also revealed a look of worship. As for Yan Qingying, she looked at Jiang Luoli in Jun Xiaoyao's arms with a trace of envy in her dark eyes. Since Jiang Zuling dug out your bone once, then this Son of God will kindly accept your bone after nirvana. Jun Xiaoyao's lips curled into a cold smile. His right hand directly grabbed the pure white spirit bone that had undergone nirvana from Qin Hao's chest. Qin Hao let out a roar. The tearing pain made him go crazy. Jiang Luoli buried her little head in Jun Xiaoyao's arms, unwilling to see the bloody scene. Not bad. Seeing this bone, Jun Xiaoyao smiled. This nirvana connate spirit bone could be used as nourishment for his supreme bone. Cough cough. Qin Hao coughed out a large mouthful of blood. His face was pale and he smiled bitterly. This was the second time his bone had been dug out. He was defeated. Completely defeated. He thought that he could die together with Jun Xiaoyao, but in the end it was just a matter of a punch. The gap between the two was too big. What did I do wrong to cause the dynasty to be destroyed, my family to be destroyed, and even 9 nether to die? Qin Hao was devastated. He had done nothing wrong, but Jiang Zuling's arrival had ruined everything for him. Now, not only was 9 nether dead, even his nirvana bone was taken away by Jun Xiaoyao. Qin Hao was too king miserable. There was no pity on Jun Xiaoyao's face. Strictly speaking, this matter was indeed Jiang Zuling's fault. To Qin Hao, he was a villain who had committed the most heinous crimes. But so what? Jiang Zuling was a member of the Jiang family, and half of the Jiang family's blood flowed in Jun Xiaoyao's body. If he didn't help Jiang Zuling, would he put righteousness before family and help Qin Hao? Obviously not. Jun Xiaoyao wasn't a saint at all. He wouldn't restrict himself with simple concepts of good and evil. Jun Xiaoyao would protect those on his side even if they'd committed heinous crimes. What about helping reason or not helping relatives? That's all nonsense. Jun Xiaoyao would protect his own to the end. Let me warn you before you die. Only children know right and wrong. Adults only look at the pros and cons. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head faintly and slapped out with a palm. Qin Hao laughed bitterly. He had no power to resist and was smashed into a bloody pulp by Jun Xiaoyao's palm. Jun Xiaoyao reached out and grabbed. The world essence of the myriad continent was taken into his bag. At this point, Jun Xiaoyao had obtained 4 balls of world essence. If I can gather all 10 world's essence and use it as a foundation to ascend the altar of martyrs, I might really be able to open up an unprecedented path. Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself and confirmed his goal. Recommended reading. Load file 2013. Chapter 234. To open up a path that no one had ever walked before, not only did it require great courage, great perseverance, and great talent, but also great opportunities. And the origin of the 10 realms was the greatest opportunity. Before, even Jun Zhantian only wanted Jun Xiaoyao to get a ball of origin of the world. In Jun Zhantian's opinion, a ball of origin of the world was enough to become a supreme immortal seed and give Jun Xiaoyao an immortal foundation. But now, even Jun Zhantian did not expect that his grandson would be so ambitious to gather all the origin of the 10 realms. Nothing like this had ever happened since ancient times. No one would have such ambition. But this time, the 10 realms were in chaos, and the origin of the 10 realms had appeared. This was the best opportunity. Jun Xiaoyao would not miss this opportunity. Seeing Qin Hao and Zhuyo die, the saint of the Netherworld Sparrow clan also roared. "What are you all arguing about?" Jun Xiaoyao frowned slightly. Then, he took out the holy body of the fallen. He punched out, shattering the void for thousands of miles. The saint of the Netherworld Sparrow clan was unable to resist and was punched by the holy body of the fallen. This scene stunned not only the saints of the ancient demon clan and the ancient demon clan, but also the 2 protectors of the Jiang family. They both felt an extremely dangerous aura from the holy body of the fallen. Then, the holy body of the fallen's fist vibrated and blasted toward the 2 saints of the ancient demon clan and the ancient demon clan. Of course, this time, Jun Xiaoyao did not directly kill them. Instead, he severely injured them, because he still wanted to pry out the mastermind behind the scenes from these 2. However, at this moment, Jun Xiaoyao suddenly felt a pain in his head. Jun Xiaoyao directly cut off the connection with the holy body of the fallen. "The time is getting shorter and shorter," Jun Xiaoyao murmured to himself. The time he could connect with the holy body of the fallen was getting shorter and shorter. He should be unable to use it after 1 or 2 more times. However, Jun Xiaoyao did not feel that it was a pity. He had only used the holy physique of the fallen in the lower world. He no longer needed it when he returned to the Huangtian mystic realm. After the saints of the ancient demons and ancient demons were severely injured, they were controlled by old ancestor Dongxian and Gu Yuan. Jun Xiaoyao walked up to them and said coldly, "Tell me, who gave you the courage to betray the Jun family?" The ancient demon clan and the ancient demon clan would never dare to betray the Jun family even if they were given 10,000 gut. There must be someone supporting them from behind. The saint of the ancient demons snorted coldly and said, "Humph, the winner takes all. Even though the 2 of us have lost, the catastrophe is not over. The Jun family will never be able to control everything. You're a prisoner, yet you're still so stubborn. You're very brave." Jun Xiaoyao's lips curled into a mocking smile. Then, he immediately used the superpower of the chaotic divine grindstone visualization method, the chaotic divine grindstone. This primal chaos divine grindstone was simply a terrifying method of torturing one's soul. Even the assassins from the nether heaven couldn't withstand such torture. Even though Jun Xiaoyao was facing 2 saints, they were severely injured. However, these 2 sages were severely injured, and their strength had fallen to rock bottom. Coupled with the suppression of old ancestor Dongxian and Gu Yuan, their divine palace primordial spirits were also weakened to the extreme. Jun Xiaoyao's chaotic divine grindstone was still effective. What the hell is this? The saints of the ancient demons and ancient demons cried out in pain with bloodshot eyes. The pain of having their primordial spirits pulled into the chaotic divine grindstone and being repeatedly crushed was thousands of times more painful than being dismembered. This was definitely not a pain that ordinary people could endure. After a long period of torture, the two saints finally couldn't take it anymore and revealed some secret. Not only did the two clans collude with the sinners, but they also colluded with the creatures of the archaic divine mountain in the lower world. The archaic divine mountain in the lower world was related to the Archean royalty of the mystic realm. For example, the top royal clans of Zulong, Wanhuang Spirit Mountain, Qilin Ancient Cave, Ancient Crocodile Lake, and so on. Qilin Ancient Cave and Ancient Crocodile Lake are also involved? Jun Xiaoyao frowned slightly. Qilin Ancient Cave and Ancient Crocodile Lake were also top Archean royalty, and their strength was not inferior to Zulong and Wanhuang Spirit Mountain. However, on second thought, it was understandable. The Archean royalty had always regarded the human race as ants and had caused many disturbances in ancient times. As the top clan of the ancients of the human race and one of the three royal clans, the Jun family naturally had conflicts with the Archean royalty. Over time, the Jun family had almost offended more than half of the Archean royalty. The remaining half of the Archean royalty did not have a huge grudge with the Jun family, but they did not have a good impression of them either. This was also the reason why the Jun family had not completely destroyed Zulong despite being so powerful. As long as the Jun family went against Zulong, Wanhuang Spirit Mountain, Qilin Ancient Cave, Ancient Crocodile Lake, and other royal clans would not sit idly by. Although the Jun family was not afraid of these Archean royalty, they would still suffer some losses. The Jun family had allies like the Jiang family of the ancients. However, if a war were to break out, it would not be a war between two forces. It would involve many forces, and the entire Huangtian mystic realm would be turned upside down. No wonder you are so confident. It turns out that the Archean royalty is backing you up. Unfortunately, you are just pawns of the Archean royalty to provoke the Jun family. Jun Xiaoyao's tone was cold. The ancient demons and ancient demons used the Archean royalty as their backing. However, the Archean royalty had never taken them seriously. The ancient demons and ancient demons were just pawns used to provoke the Jun family. They were the kind that would be thrown away when they were done using them. It was ridiculous that these two clans thought that the Archean royalty would give them freedom and protect them for the rest of their lives. There is only one outcome for those who betray the Jun family, and that is to be annihilated. Not only you, but the ancient demons and ancient demons are not allowed to appear in the entire mystic realm for hundreds of millions of years. Jun Xiaoyao's words were cold, like a judgment from the heavens. This was no longer directed at the two clans in the lower worlds, but at the bloodline of the entire ancient demons and ancient demons. Jun Xiaoyao's words directly cut off the bloodline of the two clans. What right do you have to do this? Impossible, the Archean royalty will protect our clans. The two saints' eyes were bloodshot as they roared. Kill them, Jun Xiaoyao turned around and said. Grand Ancestor Dongxian and Gu Yuan raised their hands and clapped, shattering the bodies and primordial spirits of the two saints. At the same time, they were speechless. Jun Xiaoyao was killing them in their hearts. Not only would the ancient demons and ancient demons of the lower worlds die, but even the clans in the mystic realm would not be spared. The emperors of the human world would kill 9 clans if they did not agree with them. Jun Xiaoyao was not just killing 9 clans. He was uprooting the bloodline of the 2 clans. He was not going to be lenient. His methods were cruel and decisive. He was simply a hero of the world. My brother-in-law is 2F** King Awesome. Jiang Zuling's eyes were also filled with admiration. With such a thigh, he definitely had to hug it tightly. He was even more determined to build a good relationship with Jun Xiaoyao. As for Jiang Luoli, she was still clinging to Jun Xiaoyao without caring about her image. Her delicate little face looked like a love-struck fool, and the corners of her tender red lips were dripping with sparkling saliva. The current Jun Xiaoyao was simply a cold, handsome, and black-bellied domineering CEO. He was the most attractive to a little girl like her. "Why aren't you coming down?" Jun Xiaoyao turned his head sideways and looked at Jiang Luoli, who was about to drool, and said with a slight headache, "Recommended reading. Load file 2013. Chapter 235. As the saying goes, everything has its weakness. Jiang Luoli was the daughter-in-law that Jiang Ro approved of, so Jun Xiaoyao really couldn't go too far with her. Otherwise, if Jiang Luoli went back and complained that Jun Xiaoyao bullied her, Jiang Ro would nag again. "I finally came to the lower realm to see Big Brother Xiaoyao, and I'm imprisoned. Can't I ask for more hugs?" Jiang Luoli used her cute technique and raised her sparkling little face. Her big watery eyes seemed to be able to speak as she spoke pitifully. Jun Xiaoyao was speechless. This cute technique was very lethal, but unfortunately Jun Xiaoyao didn't fall for it. He wasn't a copper alchemist. Seeing that Jun Xiaoyao didn't have any reaction, Jiang Zuling was a little speechless. When Jiang Luoli acted coquettishly, the entire Jiang family couldn't wait to dote on her. However, this future brother-in-law of hers didn't feel anything at all. Was he really emotionless? "Come down." Jun Xiaoyao sighed. "Oh." Seeing that her cute technique was useless, Jiang Luoli obediently let go of him. Jiang Luoli sometimes liked to act coquettishly, but she would never make trouble for no reason. However, at the thought that she could still spend some time with Jun Xiaoyao in the lower realm, Jiang Luoli giggled to herself again. This silly girl. Jun Xiaoyao was completely speechless. Jiang Luoli was an eccentric person, but she was actually very smart. However, whenever she was around Jun Xiaoyao, it was as if she had lost her mind, turning into an idiot. This might be a woman in love being brainless. "Thank you for your help, brother-in-law. I'm very grateful." Jiang Zuling hurried forward and cupped her hands respectfully. Hearing this, Jun Xiaoyao was silent. On the contrary, Jiang Luoli was a little bashful. She smiled shyly and said, "Cousin, I'm not that fast with Brother Xiaoyao yet." Jun Xiaoyao was a little speechless. Was this girl really going to take advantage of him? It's been so long, but he hasn't grown any taller. He looked at Jiang Luoli's petite height and her flat chest. For a moment, Jun Xiaoyao even suspected that Jiang Luoli was like the 16th ancestor of the Jun family, who ate something like the Dao fruit of longevity and would never grow up. "Xiaoyao Gij, you're saying I'm short again." When Jiang Luoli heard this, she pouted and puffed up her cheeks. "The heavenly king covers the earth tiger, Luoli is 1.5 meters tall. The pagoda suppresses the river demons. Luoli doesn't grow tall," Jun Xiaoyao said honestly. Before this, Jiang Luoli was still on his chest. She could only reach his waist now. She didn't even need to kneel down when she bit him. And if they really wanted to carry on the family line, then it wouldn't be a step to the stomach, but a slip of the tongue. "I'm not bad either." Jiang Luoli put her hands on her small waist and puffed out her small chest desperately. But she just couldn't puff it up. "Okay." Jun Xiaoyao shook his head. He didn't have time to discuss physiological development with this silly girl. He turned to look at Jiang Zuling. "I don't object to you doing those things to destroy the family, but be careful not to fail miserably. I can't always protect you." Hearing Jun Xiaoyao's words, Jiang Zuling nodded repeatedly. Indeed, if it weren't for Jun Xiaoyao's help this time, he and Jiang Luoli would probably be in danger. "Thank you, brother-in-law," Jiang Zuling said gratefully. "Can you change the way you address me?" Jun Xiaoyao had a headache. "Thank you, young master," Jiang Zuling said. Jun Xiaoyao nodded slightly. Given his importance to the Jiang family, there was nothing wrong with calling him young master. Jun Xiaoyao did not let his guard down even after the matter was resolved. He still had to deal with the ancient god clan. In addition, Jun Xiaoyao also had to visit the primordial divine mountain on the Myriad continent. Since the Archean royalty wanted to intimidate the Jun family, Jun Xiaoyao naturally wanted to intimidate the Archean royalty. It was impolite not to reciprocate. After a little reorganization, Jun Xiaoyao led this group of people to the ancient god clan's encampment. The ancient god clan was currently engaged in a fierce battle with the ancient demon clan, the ancient monster clan, and the sinful clan. Originally, they were almost at their limit. Fortunately, the Dayan dynasty's team arrived in time to support them, so they were able to hold on. But even with the Dayan dynasty's support, it was still very difficult for them to win this battle. Because in addition to the ancient demon clan and ancient monster clan, there were also 4 sinful clans gathered here. They were the Bloodfeather clan, the Golden Giant clan, the Earth Demon clan, and the Netherworld Sparrow clan. These 4 sinful clans were very strong. In addition to the ancient demon clan and ancient monster clan, it was already a miracle that the ancient god clan could hold on until now. On the battlefield, smoke filled the air. All kinds of magic power fluctuations shook the sky. Ancient god clan and the Dayan dynasty, you won't last long. An ancient demon saint sneered. That's right, it's time for you to be destroyed. An ancient monster saint sneered. The ancient god clan has suppressed us for so many years. It's time for revenge. A blood feather saint with a pair of crimson wings on his back spoke with extreme coldness. The ancient demon clan and ancient monster clan had rebelled and helped them break the seal. Therefore, the 4 sinful clans poured all their resentment and hatred onto the ancient god clan. Sinful clans are sinful clans. The blood of sinners flows in our veins. The ancient god clan is loyal to the Jun family. We will lay down our heads and spill our blood. We will never surrender. An ancient god saint shouted. Even though he was bathed in blood, he was still full of fighting spirit. You won't cry until you see the coffin. Kill them. The 9 Netherworld Sparrow clan saints said with murderous intent. The royal lords of Dayan approached an ancient god saint and said, "Don't worry. In the eyes of the Son of God, these sinful clans are nothing." After seeing the terrifying strength of the fallen holy body, the royal lords of Dayan were not worried about these sinful clans at all. There was even a trace of pity in their eyes. I hope the Son of God can come soon. We can't hold on for much longer. The ancient god saint sighed. Below, Jun Ing-er, Fang Han, and the others were also fighting. Jun Ing-er was thinking about Jun Xiaoyao while fighting. She didn't know when he would come. Fang Han was expressionless. Since Jun Xiaoyao appeared, the number of times Jun Ing-er talked to him could be counted on one hand. Most of the time, she stayed with Jun Xiaoyao. This made Fang Han very unhappy. But there was nothing he could do. Jun Xiaoyao was not someone he could mess with. Although Fang Han was narrow-minded and possessive, he was not stupid. He knew who he could mess with and who he couldn't. Even his father, the royal lords of Dayan, was just a servant in front of Jun Xiaoyao. What was he to her? However, during this period of fighting, Fang Han's strength continued to increase by sacrificing the sinful clans for the sacrificial talisman. But he didn't show it. He was going to use it as a trump card to make it easier for him to defeat the enemy. At this moment there was an explosion in the sky. The saints of the ancient demon clan, the ancient monster clan, the blood feather clan, and the 9 Netherworld Sparrow clan were besieging an ancient god saint. They were going to kill him first. In terms of the number of saints, the ancient god clan, the ancient monster clan, and the 4 sinful clans far outnumbered the ancient god clan and the Dayan dynasty. Just as the ancient god saint was about to be killed, a towering figure with long hair and surging demonic will broke through the space and punched toward the ancient demon clan saint. Poof! His body collapsed and saint blood spilled. One punch to kill a saint. Recommended reading. Load file 2013. Chapter 236. The sudden punch was out of everyone's expectations. What was even more shocking was that the ancient demon saint had been killed by a single punch. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. That was a saint powerhouse. Even in the deity region, he was a superior existence. However, at this moment, he was like an ant that had been killed in an instant. The scene was so shocking that the sinners, ancient demons felt their scalps go numb and their bodies turn cold, as if they had fallen into an ice cave. The Son of God is here. The royal lords of Dayan laughed when they saw this. The clansmen of the ancient god clan were also very excited. If the Black Heaven sect and the Dayan dynasty were 100% loyal to the June family, then the ancient god clan was 200% loyal. The reason was very simple. Back then, the ancient god clan was oppressed by the ancient demons and ancient demons. In the end, the June family saved the ancient god clan and took the three clans as their vassal forces. Therefore, the ancient god clan was very grateful to the June family and was naturally more loyal to the June family. The ancient demons could have taken over the ancient god clan, but they were stopped by the June family and were taken in as followers instead. Although the two clans seemed to be subservient, they were obviously resentful. After a long time of resentment and the primordial divine mountain's instigation, they decided to rebel. In the distant sky, Jun Xiaoyao and the others arrived. Looking at the devastated battlefield, Jun Xiaoyao's expression became even colder. The ancient demons, and the four sinners, none of you can escape today. Jun Xiaoyao controlled the fallen saint physique and killed the remaining sinners saints. At the same time, he waved his hand, and 6 star-splitting divine puppets tore through the void and shot out. Old ancestor Dongxian, Gu Yuan, and the beautiful quasi-saint woman also attacked. The Jun family of the deity region is here. D*eminent, these saint puppets are too strong. And that demonic shadow is too terrifying. Even a saint can't block his punch. The ancient god clan, the ancient demon clan, and the sin clan all let out cries of shock and pain. A fallen holy body was more than enough to break through their saint barriers. Not to mention that he had 6 star-splitting divine puppets to assist him. He was practically invincible. No saint would be able to withstand this terrifying power. Jun Xiaoyao's arrival had undoubtedly turned the situation around. At the same time, Jun Xiaoyao also made his move. His expression was extremely cold. Holding the coiling Emperor Time sword, he locked onto a young figure from the ancient demon clan. He was the strongest prodigy of the ancient demon clan, Gu Lai. Seeing Jun Xiaoyao charging over, Gu Lai's face turned cold and fierce as he shouted, "Who are you to the Jun family?" Jun Xiaoyao did not say a word, the corner of his mouth holding a wisp of indifference. He slashed out with his sword. The sword light carried the aura of time and swept out mightily. Jun Xiaoyao's strength was almost invincible among his peers. Together with the support of the coiling Emperor Time sword, those of the same generation as him could only say good luck. You're courting death. Seeing that Jun Xiaoyao did not even bother to reply, Gu Lai felt humiliated. Demonic qi erupted from his body, making him look like a peerless demon. However, after Jun Xiaoyao's sword light swept past, he did not turn back and attacked the next person. Gu Lai's entire body seemed to have frozen in the air. Then, under the horrified gazes of all the sinners present, Qin Lai suddenly appeared. Gu Lai's body was blown away by the wind bit by bit like a weathered mountain rock. His entire body was blown away like sand. This made everyone's hair stand on end. This method was too strange. How would they know that this was the power of time of the coiling Emperor Time sword? If a true top expert wielded the coiling Emperor Time sword, one slash would be enough to turn everything within a radius of 10,000 miles into ashes. The current Jun Xiaoyao obviously had not reached that level yet. However, it was enough to deal with people like Gu Lai. Liar. One of the ancient demon clan's saints screamed angrily with blood-red eyes. However, in the next moment, he was instantly killed by a punch from the fallen saint physique. Jun Xiaoyao continued to attack the next person. The young prodigy of the ancient demon clan was also slaughtered by Jun Xiaoyao. Then, it was the prodigies of the Blood Feather clan, Golden Giant clan, Earth Demon clan, and 9 Netherworld Sparrow clan. Jun Xiaoyao's decisiveness and strength set off waves in the hearts of everyone present. Jun Ying-er's beautiful eyes were filled with splendor as she stared at Jun Xiaoyao without blinking. This was a true peerless hero, invincible and invincible. Seeing this, Fang Han felt powerless. Even with the help of the god's sacrificial talisman, he had concealed a lot of his strength. However, if he were to challenge Jun Xiaoyao one-on-one now, Fang Han probably did not have the confidence and courage to do so. As expected of big brother Xiaoyao, he could have made a living with his looks, but he chose to rely on his strength. Jiang Luoli's beautiful eyes sparkled. Seeing that Jun Xiaoyao was wantonly slaughtering the prodigies of their clans, the sinful saints were so angry that their hearts were bleeding. They wanted to slap Jun Xiaoyao to death, but they were blocked by the fallen saint physique and the star-splitting divine puppet. They could not even get close to Jun Xiaoyao. Following that, the battle turned into a one-sided massacre. The fallen saint physique slaughtered the saints. Jun Xiaoyao slaughtered the sinful prodigies. Run! No one can stop this demonic shadow. Even the saints could not withstand a punch from him. What kind of monster is he? Demon! That white-robed man is a demon. It's too tragic. He killed hundreds and thousands of our young elites with one swing of his sword. Miserable cries could be heard from all directions. The ancient demon clan, and the sinful clans finally lost their confidence and wanted to retreat. But was it that simple? If Jun Xiaoyao said he wanted to exterminate them, then he would. Whether it was the 2 rebel clans or the 4 sinful clans, they would all be exterminated. Ancient God clan, Dayan dynasty, heed my command. Kill the 2 rebel clans and the 4 sinful clans. Leave no one alive. Jun Xiaoyao stood in the 9 heavens with a sword in hand. His tone was cold and murderous, like a divine king clad in white robes. As the Son of God commands. Mighty voices rang out from all directions. The counterattack had finally begun. This pursuit lasted for 3 days and 3 nights. The ancient demon clan, Blood Feather clan, Golden Giant clan, Earth Demon clan, and Netherworld Sparrow clan. Not a single one of the 6 major clans was left alive. Corpses littered the ground, their blood converging into a meandering river. This great battle had shaken the entire myriad continent. Looking at the devastated land, Jun Xiaoyao stood in the 9 heavens and sighed. Just a battle of this level alone had caused such great casualties and destruction. If it had been an immortal war between immortal factions, what kind of majestic and heroic scene would it have been? Jun Xiaoyao finally understood why the Jun family was unwilling to start an immortal war despite their strength. It was because an immortal war had too many implications and too wide a range. Compared to an immortal war, the extermination of clans was child's play. However, Jun Xiaoyao had a hunch that something was going to happen. In this era of great competition, there was a possibility that an immortal war might break out. And the most likely immortal war was between the Jun family and the Archean royalty. Oh right, I almost forgot that there's one more thing I haven't settled yet. Jun Xiaoyao murmured. There was still a place he had to go. The Primordial Divine Mountain. Recommended reading. Load file 2013. Chapter 237. The Primordial Divine Mountain of the Tianxian continent had also caused chaos. In the end, Jun Xiaoyao had suppressed them. However, this time, the Ancient Demon Clan and Ancient Demon Clan were cooperating with the Primordial Divine Mountain of the Myriad Continent. It had nothing to do with the Tianxian continent. The Archean royalty of the immortal region had contacted the two traitorous clans through the primordial divine mountain of the myriad continent. Since the Archean royalty had provoked the Jun family first, Jun Xiaoyao had no reason to retreat. He was the face of the Jun family. If Jun Xiaoyao didn't make a move, who else would? The dignity of the Jun family cannot be violated. Since you dare to provoke the Archean royalty, I, the Son of God, will give you an even greater gift. Jun Xiaoyao's handsome face was cold. At this moment, the ancient God clan patriarch stepped forward and knelt on one knee in front of Jun Xiaoyao with excitement. I am the ancient God clan patriarch. Greetings to Lord Son of God. Rise. You've worked hard. Jun Xiaoyao's cold expression turned into a gentle smile. He had a good impression of the ancient God clan, who were loyal and devoted. It was the Jun family that saved us in the past. Without the Jun family, the ancient God clan wouldn't exist today. We're just doing our duty, the ancient God clan patriarch replied. Now that the 10 great sinner clans of the lower realm have been destroyed, you can return to the immortal region if you need, Jun Xiaoyao said. Hearing this, the ancient God clan patriarch was even more excited. His face flushed red. Thank you, Lord Son of God. Everyone from the ancient God clan bowed in unison. The royal lords of Dayan and the others were envious. And you can return to the immortal region if you want, but you must leave behind a portion of your power to control the continent, Jun Xiaoyao said. Yes, thank you, Son of God. The royal lords of Dayan and the others were also overjoyed. Although they were like dragons in the lower realm. However, if possible, they also wanted to return to the celestial realm. Whether it was the cultivation environment or the level of life there, it was much higher than the lower realms. That was the true stage of the strong. The disturbance caused by the 10 great sinner clans was completely settled. Jun Xiaoyao had also completed the task assigned to him by his family. Young master, what should we do next? Yu asked from the side. To the primordial God mountain, Jun Xiaoyao said indifferently. These words made the ancient God clan leader's expression change slightly. The primordial God mountain was a forbidden land on the continent. In the past, the primordial God clan and the primordial God mountain had never interfered with each other. And this time, the rebel race was in turmoil and the sinners had broken the seal. Although there seemed to be a life form from the primeval God mountain secretly interfering, it was still a fact. But on the surface, none of the creatures of the primordial God mountain attacked the ancient God clan. On the surface, it could be said that they were not involved. Son of God, let us go with you. The clan leader of the ancient God clan and the royal lords of Dayan said. The primordial God mountain was still dangerous. No need. You all have a good rest and deal with the trivial matters. I, the Son of God, will go to the primordial God mountain, Jun Xiaoyao said indifferently. Hearing this, the surrounding people fell silent. Jun Xiaoyao wanted to flatten the primordial God mountain alone. However, when they thought of the terrifying strength of the fallen saint body, everyone felt that it might really be possible. Then, Jun Xiaoyao rested in the ancient God clan for 2 days. He also let his bone of supremacy absorb Qin, house Nirvana innate spirit bone. After absorbing it, Jun Xiaoyao felt that the complete form of the Nirvana light of samsara should be appearing soon. It only needed an opportunity. When the time came, the complete form of the Nirvana light of samsara would obviously be stronger than the hand of heaven. 2 days later, Jun Xiaoyao set off for the primordial God mountain. The 9-headed lion, Yu, and Yan Qingying had to follow him. Old ancestor Dongxian, Gu Yuan, and the others naturally had to follow him. Jiang Luoli, on the other hand, insisted on staying by Jun Xiaoyao's side. During the time in the lower realm, she didn't want to be separated from Jun Xiaoyao for even a second. Of course, one of the most important reasons was that Jiang Luoli felt a sense of danger. Not long after Jun Xiaoyao descended, Su Ziqiong, Yan Qingying, and Jun Ying'er appeared by his side. Nalan Ruashi didn't follow, so Jiang Luoli didn't know. At that moment, she was like a little hen protecting her food, trying her best to stay by Jun Xiaoyao's side. Jun Xiaoyao had no choice but to bring them along. The primordial god mountain of the myriad continent was located in the far west. As far as the eye could see, the Black Mountain Range was like the bulging skeleton of an ancient giant beast, filled with a desolate aura. There was more than one primordial god mountain in the entire mountain range. Different living beings lived in different primordial divine mountains. At this moment, there were divine wills communicating in the void of the primordial god mountain. The ancient demon clan and the ancient monster clan have been completely destroyed. The 9 Netherworld Sparrow clan and the other ancient clans have also been destroyed. So be it. They're just pawns in the royal family's hands anyway. Do you think the Jun family's Son of God will attack our primordial god mountain? You're overthinking it. We have the Archean royalty behind us. The Jun family's Son of God hasn't grown up yet. Would he dare to come? That's right. The Jun family's Son of God is just a newborn tiger. He hasn't even grown his claws and teeth. He shouldn't have the guts. That's true. Haha, I'm overthinking it. Light laughter came from the void. It sounded very indifferent, with a hint of disdain. However, not long after, Jun Xiaoyao and the others arrived in the sky outside the primordial god mountain. Looking at the primordial god mountain, that was filled with a wild aura, Jun Xiaoyao's expression was extremely indifferent. Son of God, do you want us to take the lead and test it out first? Grand Ancestor Dongxian asked. They knew that Jun Xiaoyao had the holy body of the fallen, so they wanted to take the lead and test the waters of the primordial god mountain. Haha, there's no need. It's just a primordial god mountain from the lower realm. Jun Xiaoyao's expression was indifferent. If he had to be afraid of dealing with a primordial god mountain from the lower realm, then he shouldn't be called the Son of God of the Jun family. What Jun Xiaoyao wanted was the joy of sweeping through everything in his path. Who are you? How dare you trespass into the forbidden area of the primordial god mountain? Some creatures in the primordial god mountain saw Jun Xiaoyao and the others and walked out to ask arrogantly. The creatures of the primordial god mountain were used to being arrogant. Almost no one in the lower realm dared to provoke them, so they had developed the habit of being arrogant and domineering. The Jun family is here to collect the debt. Jun Xiaoyao pressed down with his palm. The golden palm print was like a corner of the sky collapsing as it pressed down fiercely. Rumble! A mountain range was smashed and the ground caved in. Hundreds of creatures of the primordial god mountain were crushed into meat paste before they could even scream. The remaining creatures of the primordial god mountain all widened their eyes as if they had seen a ghost. In the lower realm, someone dared to kill the creatures of the primordial god mountain in front of them? However, some of the creatures of the primordial god mountain also heard Jun Xiaoyao's words. The Jun family was here to collect the debt. The Jun family. They are from the Jun family of the mystic realm. A creature of the primordial god mountain screamed with extreme fear on his face. What do you mean by this? Killing the creatures of the primordial god mountain as you please? Aren't you afraid of angering the forbidden existence of the primordial god mountain? A creature of the primordial god mountain was strong on the outside but weak on the inside. Hearing this, a smile appeared on Jun Xiaoyao's face. However, this smile was a little cold. Sorry, I, the Son of God, am here today to destroy the primordial god mountain. Recommended reading. Load file 2013. Chapter 238. Jun Xiaoyao's words were indifferent, but the murderous intent in them made the world change color. The clouds in the sky were dyed with an ominous blood color. It was as if Jun Xiaoyao's murderous intent was able to resonate with the world. What did you say? You want to destroy the immemorial divine mountain? The group of creatures from the divine mountain were all stunned. They froze on the spot as if they had been petrified. In the lower realm, the immemorial divine mountain was a taboo existence. They had always been at the top. They were the only ones who could destroy other forces. No one else or force could threaten them. It was also because they had been pampered for a long time that they were used to being high and mighty. Therefore, when they heard Jun Xiaoyao's words, they didn't even react for a moment. After a while, the creatures from the Divine Mountain came back to their senses. They couldn't help but cry out, "Are you crazy? The immemorial Divine Mountain is not something you can destroy just because you want to." The Jun family was powerful, but now they were in the lower realm. Moreover, Jun Xiaoyao had a saint by his side. However, the immemorial Divine Mountain didn't lack saint. If Jun Xiaoyao thought that he could destroy the ancient Divine Mountain with such a force alone, it would have been too much of a fantasy. As long as I, the Son of God, want to, let alone a mere immemorial Divine Mountain, I can destroy even an entire lower realm. Jun Xiaoyao's expression was cold. He raised his hand again and pressed down. The creature from the Divine Mountain who spoke, along with the group of creatures around him, was directly crushed into meat paste. "How dare you!" An old voice shouted from the depths of the Divine Mountain. A terrifying aura of the saint's stage burst out. Along with the eruption of the aura were monstrous crimson flames. The raging flames formed a pillar of fire that soared into the sky. An old man wearing a flaming robe stepped out. Everywhere he passed, flames were ignited, and the temperature between heaven and earth rose rapidly. "It's the taboo existence of the Inferno Divine Mountain, the Inferno Saint." When they saw the red-robed old man appear, the surrounding creatures of the Divine Mountain burst into exclamations. Their expressions were filled with extreme surprise. The Inferno Saint's true form was a fiery bird. He was also a taboo existence that was hibernating in the Inferno Divine Mountain. He was awakened by the commotion caused by Jun Xiaoyao and the others and was the first to step forward. "Ignorant Junior, the immemorial Divine Mountain is not a place where you can barge in," the Flame Saint said coldly. He did not strike immediately because he saw old ancestor Dongxian and the rest. Of course, the Flaming Saint was not afraid because he was not the only forbidden creature in the entire primordial Divine Mountain. "Fiery bird, not bad." Jun Xiaoyao nodded his head slightly. Jiang Loli blinked her big eyes and said, "Big brother Xiaoyao, do you mean that we have roasted birds to eat?" "That's right," Jun Xiaoyao said. "Oh yeah, Luoli wants to eat roasted chicken wings, roasted chicken legs, and chicken necks." Jiang Luoli clapped her hands and smiled. Then, she started counting with her fingers, listing the parts that she wanted to eat. Hearing the conversation between the two, the faces of all the living beings on the Divine Mountain froze. Their eyes widened as if they had seen a ghost. They actually treated the Raging Flame Saint as an ingredient? "You are too presumptuous." The Flame Saint was a saint after all. How could he not care about his reputation? He had just woken up from a deep sleep and was treated as an ingredient. No one would be able to stand it. Moreover, the Flame Saint's temperament was the same as his body. They were both hot-tempered. He could not help but want to strike. His realm was at the late stage of the saint realm. He was stronger than the average saint, so he had the confidence to strike. At the very least, even if Jun Xiaoyao had two saint experts by his side, he was confident that he could escape unscathed. Seeing the Flame Saint charging towards him with a monstrous red flame, Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were indifferent as he directly summoned the Fallen Saint Physique. What he wanted was to end the battle cleanly. The Fallen Saint Physique tore through the void and appeared. His long hair danced wildly, and his aura was like an abyss. He punched out, shattering the void. The fist radiance carried an unparalleled force as it charged towards the Flame Saint. 51. Aesthetic. Seeing the sudden appearance of the Fallen Saint Physique, the Flame Saint was stunned. After feeling the terrifying fist radiance of the Fallen Saint Physique, the Flame Saint felt his scalp go numb. He hurriedly summoned his ultimate treasure. It was a treasured fan refined from the life flame divine feather. The red treasured fan flapped, and monstrous red flames swept out. Everywhere it passed, the earth was scorched. Even the void seemed to be burned down. Die. The flaming saint was very confident in his natal true treasure. The red flames also drowned the fallen saint physique. Just as the smile on the flame saint's face was about to spread. Boom! The curtain of flames was torn apart, and the fallen saint physique burst out from it. Not even a strand of his hair was burned, let alone his body. How is this possible? The flame saint could not believe it and screamed in horror. That was the ultimate treasure refined from his life flame divine feather. He had used it to kill more than one early stage or mid-stage saint expert. However, this flame could not hurt the fallen saint physique at all. The fallen saint physique's eyes were filled with madness as he threw a punch at the flame saint. Boom! The flame saint's chest was penetrated, and even his divine palace and primordial spirit were shattered. The forbidden creature of the immemorial divine mountain, a late-stage saint expert, was killed by the fallen saint physique with a single punch. Dead silence. All the creatures of the divine mountain around were as pale as paper. Looking at the scene in front of them, they felt that it was extremely unreal. That was the forbidden creature of the divine mountain. Even ordinary saints would not dare to face such a terrifying existence. But now it was killed in an instant. If they had not seen it with their own eyes, these creatures of the immemorial divine mountain would have thought that it was a big joke. But now they had witnessed the fall of the forbidden creature with their own eyes, and they could not laugh at all. Boom! 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 Just as the flame saint died, the aura of the saint's stage exploded within the immemorial divine mountain. It was the wrath of the forbidden creatures of the immemorial divine mountain. They originally wanted the flame saint to test the waters. Who would have thought that something like this would happen? The Inferno saint, who was so powerful, was killed in a single move. Son of God of the June family, you're too bold. On an immemorial divine mountain, a golden aura erupted, as if thousands of sharp swords had been drawn. A ferocious tiger with golden wings on its ribs soared into the sky, its teeth as white and sharp as daggers. It's the forbidden creature of the sky tiger divine mountain, the golden-winged saber-toothed tiger. Some creatures of the divine mountain showed hope again. This was a very powerful existence, and it controlled the power of the golden-winged tiger. Its killing power was off the charts. On the other side, the earth trembled. A giant elephant covered in dragon scales appeared in an immemorial divine mountain. It's the white jade dragon elephant of the white jade divine mountain. The creatures of the divine mountain cheered again. This was another powerful existence. With a stomp of its foot, it could shatter the earth for thousands of miles. It was the pinnacle of strength. The forbidden creatures of the immemorial divine mountain appeared one after another. In the end, there were more than 10 of them. This was the foundation of the immemorial divine mountain of the lower realm. Even old ancestor Dongxian and Gu Yuan frowned when they saw such a lineup. Even if the ancient God clan and the Dayan dynasty joined forces, it would be very difficult to flatten this force. They would have to pay a huge price. However, Jun Xiaoyao's expression was as calm as water from beginning to end. Chapter 239. More than 10 forbidden creatures from the primordial divine mountain appeared, disrupting the aura of heaven and earth. The void was in chaos, the earth was trembling, thunder struck from the 9 heavens, and the weather changed. The myriad continent was in an unprecedented turmoil. This change naturally attracted the attention of many factions in the myriad continent. That direction is the primordial divine mountain in the far west. Who dares to cause trouble at the primordial divine mountain? Let's go and take a look. 4 factions on the myriad continent were alarmed and rushed to the primordial divine mountain as quickly as possible. All of these forces belonged to the human race. Similar to the situation on the Tianxian continent, the human factions on the myriad continent were also oppressed by the primordial divine mountain. The primordial divine mountain easily destroyed human factions, and the humans didn't dare resist. The primordial divine clan had focused all of their efforts on suppressing the sinners. Their main mission was to suppress the sinners, so they naturally didn't have the spare energy to deal with the primordial divine mountain. Over time, the primordial divine mountain became a forbidden land that intimidated everyone on the myriad continent. But now, someone dared to cause trouble in the forbidden land and cause such a huge commotion. This was beyond everyone's expectations and piqued their curiosity. All factions rushed to the primordial divine mountain like a tidal wave. At the same time, in front of the primordial divine mountain, more than 10 forbidden creatures emitted an aura that shook heaven and earth. This force wasn't weak even in the immortal region. It was comparable to first-rate factions like the ancient kingdom of Vermilion Bird. Son of God of the June family, don't think that you can do whatever you want just because you have the June family behind you. The golden-winged, saber-toothed tiger of the sky tiger divine mountain spoke. It looked at the saint physique of the fallen with a hint of fear. The saint physique of the fallen didn't seem like a puppet, but he didn't seem like an ordinary saint expert either. Therefore, they couldn't be sure what this terrifying existence was. The primordial divine mountain is connected to the Archean royalty of the upper world. Are you trying to provoke the Archean royalty by provoking us here? The white jade dragon elephant of the white jade divine mountain spoke as well. Seeing the forbidden creatures speak one after another, the surrounding creatures on the divine mountain were stunned. Something's not right. According to the divine mountain's ancestors' personalities, any existence that dared to come to the divine mountain and provoke them would be killed without a word. For example, a long time ago, a saint expert of the primordial divine mountain. The divine mountains, and the forbidden creatures of the primordial divine mountain and the divine mountain. Why were these forbidden lifeforms so talkative in the face of a white-robed young man who wasn't even a 9th-level connected saint? Some divine mountains creatures immediately. Fear. The divine mountains. Saint physique of divine mountains divine was a saint of God of divine mountain, the divine child of the June family. The divine of the divine could be divine. They were very smart and didn't want to offend the June family. Although they were backed by the theocrats, in the eyes of the theocrats, they were just slightly bigger chess pieces. June Xiaoyao smiled indifferently and said, I'm sure you know why I, the Son of God, am here. If you work for the Archean royalty, you should be prepared to be slaughtered. The golden-winged saber-toothed tiger, the white jade dragon elephant, and the other divine mountains mountain patriarch were furious. June Xiaoyao's words left no room for negotiation. Son of God of the June family, enough is enough. Don't think that the primordial divine mountain is afraid of you. The golden-winged saber-toothed tiger said coldly. Forget it. I, the Son of God, am too lazy to talk nonsense with a bunch of ingredients. June Xiaoyao shook his head slightly. If he had the time to talk nonsense, he could go soak in the hot springs. You have a death wish. The golden-winged saber-toothed tiger, the white jade dragon elephant, and the other divine mountain patriarchs couldn't take it anymore when they heard June Xiaoyao call them ingredients. Even if the sky fell, the taller ones would hold it up. The Archean royalty would bear the anger of the June family. 85-inch kill. The golden-winged saber-toothed tiger flapped its wings, and a sharp metallic aura shook the heavens. The white jade dragon elephant made its move as well. Its foot cracked the earth for thousands of miles, and it charged forward like a divine mountain. The other divine mountain patriarchs also made their move. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that their power could destroy heaven and earth. At this moment, the human forces that had come to watch the show finally arrived. They only dared to watch from afar. When they saw the scene in front of them, all the human cultivators were dumbfounded. They're all forbidden existences of the divine mountain. Heavens, they're all attacking that white-clothed young man. It's the Son of God of the Jun family. He was the one who helped the primordial divine clan quell the sinner's disaster. Many people recognized Jun Xiaoyao. His name had shaken the heavens in the myriad continent. Most people knew that an extremely powerful young lord of the primordial clan of the immortal region had descended to the lower realms. He was none other than Jun Xiaoyao in front of them. But what they hadn't expected was that Jun Xiaoyao would actually dare to challenge the primordial divine mountain. Even some of the other geniuses of the lower realms would avoid the primordial divine mountain when they encountered them, unwilling to engage in battle. The Son of God of the Jun family is truly a hero of the human race. But can he hold on? Many human cultivators were worried when they saw the destructive ripples in front of them. The Son of God, forefather Dongxian and Gu Yuan looked extremely grave. The two Dao protectors of the Jiang family were also waiting with all their might. Jun Xiaoyao was also an important figure of the Jiang family. Although Jun Xiaoyao didn't really have any status in the Jiang family, everyone in the Jiang family had already regarded Jun Xiaoyao as their young master. Therefore, the two Dao protectors of the Jiang family were also obligated to protect Jun Xiaoyao's safety. Faced with the joint attack of more than 10 mid-stage and late-stage saints, Jun Xiaoyao was like a reef in the middle of a great wave, unmoving and unwavering. Is this all of your strength? If that's the case, Jun Xiaoyao closed his eyes. All the soul power of the true spirit in his divine palace was poured into the saint physique of the fallen. This was also the most compatible he had ever been with the saint physique of the fallen. Of course, the price of this compatibility was that Jun Xiaoyao also had to bear the ominous power. His mind began to ache intensely. However, Jun Xiaoyao turned a blind eye to it. At this moment, his resonance with the saint physique of the fallen had almost reached 99%. The saint physique of the fallen's long hair danced wildly as he roared into the sky. Dark red chi and blood surged into the 9 heavens like an ancient volcano erupting. At the same time, an ancient sword filled with the aura of time broke through the air. It was the coiling Emperor Time sword. Jun Xiaoyao raised his hand. The saint physique of the fallen also raised his hand and held the coiling Emperor Time sword. It was not Jun Xiaoyao, but the saint physique of the fallen who held the coiling Emperor Time sword. This meant that the coiling Emperor Time sword would erupt with its strongest power in the hands of the saint-level saint physique of the fallen. Jun Xiaoyao slowly raised his hand and pointed it at the sky. The saint physique of the fallen also held the coiling Emperor Time sword, and the tip of the sword pointed at the sky. Coiling Emperor Time sword, the killing of time, Jun Xiaoyao muttered. The next moment, he suddenly opened his eyes, used his finger as a sword and slashed down. The saint physique of the fallen also held the coiling Emperor Time sword in his hand and slashed horizontally. A mighty sword light that seemed to be filled with the aura of ancient times traversed the sky. Wherever it passed, the void collapsed silently, revealing spatial cracks. Stars collapsed, heaven and earth turned upside down, the sky shook, and the heavens were destroyed. The sword energy traveled 30,000 miles, and the sword light chilled 19 provinces.